TD Ameritrade Park, Omaha North, if you will, Omaha, Nebraska. And the fans started lining up and running in around 5:30 this morning in anticipation of a national championship. Arkansas is one win away, but they're dealing with a team that has played this way before. Oregon State, backs against the wall. That's when they're at their best.
Moments. They come and go. A moment can be the difference between dogpiling.
Virginia, Coastal Carolina. The Gators get their first championship.
And falling short of your dreams.
Their dream dies.
It hurts. It hurts.
They can define a legacy and last a lifetime.
LSU wins the College World Series on a home run by Mars.
To live in the moment means not to dwell on the past.
Ever since I last out last year, my focus has been to win a national championship.
It means to enjoy and savor every minute.
Playing for a national championship is a dream come true.
Arkansas takes the first, and they're one win away from their first College World Series title.
There's a national championship on the line. It's Game 2 of the College World Series Finals.
Both teams have played almost 70 games this season, and the season can end tonight. We welcome you to the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Couldn't have asked for a better night. And the Oregon State Beavers crowd, they have been here and they have been loud, but it's impossible to compete with this group from Arkansas. It feels like everyone from Fayetteville has made the trip trying to witness history for their team. Before we play Game 2, let's look back on the key moments of Game 1. 2-2, smothered. They'll go to second for one. Back to first, nobody there.
I don't understand how that's interference.
That changes the entire ballgame.
Rips this one to the left, and we're tied. Madrigal loses it. Wow, did that unravel very quickly. That's a fair ball. Here's the throw. He is moved. And they're one win away from their first College World Series title. A lot of little things led to an Arkansas victory last night. We said so long to 6 teams. We're down to 2, and perhaps the final game of this season. Long season with terrific regionals and super regionals, and now we wait to see what this game tonight has to offer. Laura Rutledge will join us shortly. Welcome to our broadcast position, Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson. I'm Carl Ravitch. We got through the aces last night, and they were pretty good. Now you got a couple of guys that aren't usually on the mound on a Friday night. The offenses should shine.
Yeah, they should. And for Arkansas, it's an offense that shined the entire season. This is a ball club that hit 98 home runs over the course of the season. That's top 5 in all of college baseball. 5 of the 9 in this lineup have double-digit home runs over the course of the year. And it's top to bottom that can cause you a lot of problems. That's why this Arkansas offense has been so consistent the entire season. Dominic Fletcher has 2 home runs here. Casey Martin, the freshman, has been outstanding out of the 2-hole, and they've been aggressive. And when aggressive, they've been very good. 5 for 10 before 2 strikes last night. Bryce Thurman throws a lot of strikes for Oregon State. I expect Arkansas to be very aggressive again tonight.
Casey Murphy goes for Arkansas. We'll talk more about the pitching matchup in just a bit. You can hear the crowd behind us. A little bit of a football atmosphere here, which can be good for and motivate the other team, too, actually.
It could motivate the other team. This crowd was out there since 5:30 in the morning in the lines. You look at the fans, the Arkansas Razorback fans, I'm telling you this, there's probably plus 20,000 fans out here just with Razorback on their chest. And if you're Oregon State, if you're about this lineup, you need to be able to silence it and silence it early. The top of the order is going to be key. Nick Madrigal is going to be the leadoff hitter tonight. No Stephen Kwan in the lineup. It is essential that they get on base, especially so they can get Adley Rutschman on. 96 hits, 80 RBI. He needs runners on to drive him in.
Lineups loaded with future major leaguers. And for more on Oregon State, let's go down to Laura Rutledge.
Yeah, Ravi, those future major leaguers for Oregon State had the memory of what happened here last year all too fresh on their mind. They haven't been shy about talking about wanting to win a national championship this year and remembering the sting of last year.
I would say we do have unfinished business, and I feel like we're back here for that, and we call it a business trip.
Ever since that last out happened last year, my focus has been on getting this team back to Omaha and, finishing it off this year.
Last year, got cut short a little bit. We were close, didn't finish the job. So now, we're here, we're back, we're ready to go.
And now with their backs against the wall, Nick Madrigal, Oregon State's leader, said they're just trying to maintain their calm. He said last night they were a little anxious, and they talked as a team about coming out here, turning that anxiousness into being focused. They're ready to go, guys, and they said the key here is to strike early and often against Casey Murphy.
Well, the recipe worked for them in 06. They lost their first game. Then they lost the first game of the finals. Then they won the whole thing. Beavers hope to repeat. Oregon State, Arkansas, game 2 coming up next.
Used to be a fool, all about the bouncing my step. Watch it on the news, what you gonna do? I could hit refresh and forget. Used to keep it cool.
We're back, everyone. Gorgeous night for baseball here. Game 1 was originally scheduled for a couple nights ago. Got postponed. We played last night. We play game 2 this evening. Talk about how these two teams have managed to make it all the way to the College World Series Finals. Start with the Hogs. Oregon State lost their opener. Arkansas hasn't lost a game here at the College World Series. Mistakes have plagued Oregon. They've made 9 errors. They did go and win 4 straight elimination games. It's a double elimination format. You can actually lose 2 games and still get there. Adley Rutschman has been outstanding. He likely will be a top 3 major league pick next season. He is killing it. Got 10 RBI already. And boy, Pat Casey loves to have him behind the plate as the catcher and in the middle of that order. Our Capital One batting order for Pat Casey, who won the championship in both 2006 and 2007. It was ironic. They had Stephen Kwan, the center fielder, who was there last night in the leadoff spot. Then he moved to number 9. Then we got a 3rd revised lineup, and he was out of it.
And you got Adley Rutschman leading in the 4-hole for Oregon State. He's going to be key. Leading off Nick Madrigal. They need to get him on base. This is a wild crowd, and they're all standing room right now in the outfield.
Madrigal, the number 4 overall pick in this year's Major League Draft. Looks at a first pitch in there for a strike at 89 from the lefty, Casey Murphy. He's a junior out of Elk Grove, California, 5'8", only 165 pounds. But you talk about fundamentals, and you talk about the mental side of the game. Nick Madrigal is the on- and off-field leader of this club. Center field, Dominic Fletcher going back, going back, going back. Oh, what a start for Arkansas. Willie Mays type catch as Madrigal sent that one deep to center field, and he basket catched it.
Starting early, and we talked about this since the beginning of the College World Series. Probably the best defender in center field. This was pretty much a Jimmy Edmonds route if you guys followed him throughout his career. Didn't panic, lefty. Watch him not lose his eyesight from the ball. He knows exactly where he is, feeling where the warning track is. Easy catch running under that baseball.
When you are on the mound and you see your outfielder's numbers, it is usually not a very good feeling. It's a little bit different when you have Fletcher out there because that route was exactly what he wanted. Ended up cruising to it at the end. It's a long out to start and a tip of the cap from Nick Madrigal.
How easy did he make that look? Here's Caden Grenier, the junior, 5'11", out of Henderson, Nevada. And that one is on the corner, called strike. Jeff Hendricks gets the assignment tonight. He is behind home plate. Grenier, the 37th overall pick. He'll play shortstop for Oregon State. The Orioles picked him up. Changeup, and that's in there for a strike 2. Murphy's last start against Texas Tech, he went 4 2/3. He struck out 7. That's the good news for Arkansas. The bad news is this Oregon State team tends to pound left-handed pitchers. They are 13-1 against left-handed starters. Good sign, too, for the offense. That ball Madrigal hit carried a long way here at TD Ameritrade. Here's another one, and he's going way back. About face, can he do it again? He can. 2 straight shots to the longest and deepest part of this ballpark. And Dominic Fletcher has made both outs. Kind of some loud outs from a pitching perspective there, KP.
Yeah, there is. For Casey Murphy, there's going to be a lot of contact, and that's usually the way it is for the left-hander, 6'0", 200 pounds out of Rogers, Arkansas. It's been important for this club in his starting rotation. A 3.13 ERA. He doesn't walk too many, just 22 over the course of the year. He's steady, he's consistent, and he will show you 3 pitches at any time, as we've already seen. He has the ability to pound the strike zone. The key tonight for Murphy is keeping it out of the white of the plate, because when it is there, you're going to see swings like we've already seen tonight from Oregon State.
And here's the power hitter on the team, Trevor Larnach, the right fielder, the junior at 6'4", 210. He hits one into right field, and just like that, Trevor Larnach picks up another hit. He came in hitting .429 with 5 doubles, which is a College World Series record, and he's on base again.
Not wasting any time at all. First pitch, base hit. Yesterday we saw the same thing out of him in the second at bat, attacking the first pitch. Watch where that pitch was. Inside, a little breaking ball. You see it there. Clears his hips and keeps this ball right back up the middle. Beautiful bat path.
We've seen 6 pitches and 3 balls that were hammered. 2 of them for long outs to center field. 1 a single to right. Eddie, you talked at the top of the show. Key, getting your leadoff, second hitters on base for the 3 and 4 guys. Well, the third guy did his job, and here's Adley Rutschman, the sophomore out of Sherwood, Oregon. A terrific catcher who's hitting .524 at the College World Series. And the breaking ball is in there for a strike.
Yesterday, Heston Kjerstad from left field, we saw him lose the ball in the sun. Today, his approach is to get sideways. Watch how that left foot will be in front of the right, trying to angle anything hit at him.
0-1, Rutschman, right field. That's going to get down in front of Eric Cole. So 4 guys, and all of them have hit the ball pretty hard in Oregon State in a little business with 2 down.
This is their key to their offense, and we know this. It's the 3-4 hitters. That's why the pressure was on both Madrigal and Grenier to get on base. They hit the ball solid. Unfortunately for them, 2 outs were made, and now you have the 3-4 guys on base, and it's all about Michael Gretler. Yesterday drove in the first run of the game with a base hit up the middle off a slider.
All right, so last night we made a big deal out of how hard it was to pick the ball up because of these shadows. It doesn't appear as if that's a big problem right now.
No, it really doesn't. He's kept the ball up, and I think that's been the biggest difference.
The stuff is a little bit different tonight than it was last night. Both guys were 94 to 95 in the first inning yesterday. Murphy doesn't have the ability to go quite that high.
Michael Gretler's the third baseman, the senior. Bonnie Lake, Washington at 6'2", 185. 2 runners on, 2 down, top of the first. He has thrown 9 pitches, and they have been all strikes. Temperature in the low 90s to upper 80s, should get down into the lower 80s by the time the night is over, but you can see Murphy out on the mound. He is sweating, perhaps because the balls that he has thrown have been hit so hard, and there's 2 men on.
Shadows are tough. Yet if you keep that ball up and it stays flat, these guys have been able to make that adjustment. We've seen it early.
One of the interesting numbers from last night. Before they got to 2 strikes, Oregon State hitters batted .467. When they had 2 strikes, that average dropped to .105. 1-1 from behind home plate coming to Michael Gretler.
First good slider that we've seen from Casey Murphy. The first slider of the ball game. Larnach hit to right field for Oregon State's first hit. That one had more depth. That's what he's going to need tonight. The swing and miss that he gets is usually on that pitch.
Looking for a little two-out magic. Get things started on the right foot for Oregon State. They need to win to keep this series and season alive tonight.
Sorry, the previous pitch, those shadows. Shadows are tough, but you can execute your pitches. If you don't execute the pitches, that's where it's in trouble. This angle right here, it's like being in a theater. You know, I go to the Adrian Arch Center in Miami. You're sitting in the top, those lights, when they're pointing at you, I feel like calling the president of the Adrian Arch Center and say, John Richard, please, give me better seats, man. I need to get those and see it better. It's that tough right now.
You may get better seats now.
Yeah. You may name the building after you. These two teams, in a lot of ways, have been mirror images of each other with their offense. One of the things they tend to do differently is you usually see Arkansas scoring in the first 6 innings, and then you see Oregon State scoring in innings 7, 8, and 9. They're trying to change that script right now with 2 men on and 2 down.
It's amazing. It seems like he's thrown 20-some pitches, and this will be only his 14th.
Big pitch early here, game 2. He got him. Gretler chased one up and out of the zone. Razorbacks coming to the plate. They strand 2. How did the Razorbacks get here? Well, they've done it with their offense. This is their first College World Series final since '79. They've gotten production from everybody. Martin's been the headliner. He's 8 of 19 with all those big runs that Arkansas needed. Fletcher, we've seen him in the outfield. He's also gone yard a couple times. 8 RBIs, 9 for 19. And Wayne Knight last night improved to 14-0 on the season, the perfect season. 2-0, 11 innings, 10 Ks. There's Dave Van Horn, who is making his 7th trip to the College World Series. Our Capital One batting order. You've got a lot of guys that can get to double-digit home runs over the course of a season, and a very gaudy team batting average as well. A little less than Oregon State, but very, very good.
And a tough lineup to maneuver. You got 3 underclassmen there that really stand out. Martin Kerstad and Dominic Fletcher, which is highlighted, has been fantastic during this College World Series.
The face Bryce Femmel, the right-hander, 6'1", 200 pounds. The junior has 10 wins over the course of the season. 4-pitch guy, and we'll see a little bit of everything, but we can see the struggles during the College World Series. Coming in, he was outstanding all year, as evidenced by those 10 wins, but here has just been okay. The key tonight, really no different than Murphy, for Femmel is to keep it out of the middle of the plate. It is 4 pitches. It's 4 pitches at any time. There's not a ton of swing and miss, just 63 strikeouts in 111 innings for Femmel this year.
Eric Cole, the right fielder, will lead things off. Junior, he's 5'11", a $195 out of South Lake, Texas. First pitch from Femmel, down, ball 1. Femmel and Heimlich, the 2 starters in the first 2 games, have not lasted long at all in games. Bullpen fairly well rested, with the exception of Chamberlain, who gave you all those terrific innings last night in relief for Oregon State. Everybody is available, and this is obviously the time when everybody has to be. Chamberlain really saved the bullpen, nearly saved the game for him, as Femmel throws his first strike in there.
He did. The freshman gave a chance last night. I mean, put up a ton of zeros. Offense just couldn't get it going towards the end of the ball game for Oregon State. Christian Chamberlain was outstanding out of the pen. 4
2/3 he threw last night. No runs and 11 strikeouts. Winning team struck out 16 times last night.
It's 11 strikeouts, ties a College World Series record in relief. Ties Calvin Schiraldi from Texas.
Calvin Schiraldi went on to a decent major league career.
That he did.
Some good seasons. Here's your 2-2 from Femmel. Nope, 3-2. Cole has not had great success at the World Series. He's only 3 of 16, a 188 average. He had 321 during the regular season. 3-2 on the ground to short. One down. Nice play by Caden Grenier. He was solid last night too.
Guys, you've talked about Stephen Kwan not being in the lineup for Oregon State. Another way they really miss him is his defense in center field. And Pat Casey said, obviously, he was in the lineup to start. He took BP and didn't feel great, then went out in the outfield, tried to run around, and he said, Coach, I can't go. And if you guys know anything about Stephen Kwan, you know that really pained him. He wants to be out there for the team as much as possible. Felt like he'd be a detriment, though, defensively.
I applaud him.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you know everything about him was to be out there tonight. We saw him yesterday in a route in center field, and it did not look comfortable. And there can be all the want in the world, but the reality is the hamstring is just bothering him too much right now to go full speed.
Casey Martin, the third baseman, steps in. He's only a freshman. He's been outstanding. 421 here. Got a good pitch to hit, and he fouled it off down the third baseline. Hit 3 homers in the SEC tournament. And he can fly. This guy can get from home to first in under 4 seconds.
So I run into him around the clubhouse area in the tunnel today, and Casey comes in and pulls me aside and goes, hey, man, you're saying that I'm a pull hitter. And I said, yeah. And he goes, no, I hit the ball to right center with authority. Yeah, they're playing me pull, but I hit the ball to right center. I said, Casey, I saw you in Fayetteville 3 games. I've seen you here. You haven't hit one yet to right center. He goes, that's because they're pitching me in. And if they pitch me in, I'm going to pull it. He came back with a good answer, and it reminds me a lot of the approach he has of a young Paul Molitor, and that's a heck of a compliment right there.
I guess.
Where he hits the ball in that 5-6 hole with authority, can handle the pitch in, but still believes that his approach is to right center.
Well, right center today, and right now, is wide open. You got Larnach shaded towards the line, and Preston Jones, who is making his first start in center field. Again, Kwan's hamstring prevented him from going, so Pat Casey opted to put Preston Jones in center field. Good defender. Started 9 times in left field and twice as a DH. But between he and Larnach, a lot of space for a guy that professes to be somebody who likes to go to right center.
If he does here, he's going to run for a while.
Time out, stay here. Don't go out of the box, stay here. All right, here we go. Play. Quick 2.
Ball 4, but Martin swung at it.
Yeah, but that was a changeup. He's looking fastball. It was located perfectly. You think that 4-seam fastball is down in the zone you have to protect. Good job of at least putting some bat on that.
That's the one thing with Femmel. Like you almost can't look for anything. I mean, he will throw you anything at any count. 3-2 changeup right there. He's gone 3-2 to each of the first 2 hitters.
Beaten on the ground. They had a shift on. And Martin is retired. So 2 ground ball outs. That'll bring up Heston Kjerstad, another freshman out of Amarillo, Texas. He's been struggling a little bit with recognizing pitches. Last night, last at bat, sent a shot to left center field. And we'll see if that and his defensive play last night, in which he picked the ball up off the wall and nailed Zach Taylor trying to stretch a single into a double, will get him on track. Talk about guys that are labeled professional hitters. Heston Kjerstad is one of those guys.
As a freshman.
Asked him earlier also, I said, so who taught you? Your dad? He goes, no, I'm self-taught. Dad built a cage in the backyard, and I wore his arm out all night. He kept throwing to me, and I just kept swinging that bad boy right back up the middle.
Ball. Just down. When Heston was looked at and committed to go to Arkansas, he was a high school sophomore who weighed 150 pounds. His dad, who you're talking about throwing all those pitches to him, is 6'4", 250 pounds. That's Dave. So if Heston can be following in the footsteps of Dave, he's going to be a power hitter.
It's a slim guy, 250, 6'4", slim.
That's what I mean, power hitter. Major League Baseball body.
Yes, it is. And he's faster than you would think. I mean, there's pretty good speed for Kirstead. He's a big-time athlete, too.
Whoa, I was wondering why Madrigal allowed that ball to go through him. I think you heard Caden Grenier calling mine, but well, he served as a obstruction.
Guys, listen in on this right here. This is communication just did not come through. Grenier called Madrigal off on that. Madrigal had a beat on it. He should have made this play, but once he calls him off, Grenier, and we talk about funneling the baseball, and we could have seen it also on the other ground balls. He does not bring that ball to his belly, and that's where all those common mistakes are made, when the transfer is not done at the belly area but away from the belly area.
That's the 10th error of the College World Series. Curious play to call one of the best players in college baseball off on a ball that was simple.
Well, here's the other thing. Right, for Madrigal, his two-step to his right. I mean, the route is a little bit shorter. It makes the throw shorter. But the other thing for Grenier is that's a play that he hardly ever has to make. I mean, he's not on that side of the bag very often, and it wasn't like Madrigal had to go a long way to make the play. I think that's one where you let your second baseman pick it up, throw it to first, and get in the dugout.
Here's Luke Bonfield, the DH, senior out of Skillman, New Jersey, behind 0-1.
Ball outside.
And this is what I mean about the transfer. Watch exactly where he tries to go from glove to hand. If you make this play close to your body, he does not make this error. Instead, he tried to pull the transfer away from the body, and that's a big no-no in infield play.
Think there'll be a conversation between Madrigal and Grenier when they get back to the bench? He jumped over the baseball, Eddie.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think it's his ball all day.
And you see this at the big league level also. Guys playing out of position because of the shift. They don't have a lot of repetition there.
2-1 to Bonfield. Not yet. They'll throw over and check on Kirstead. Doesn't run a lot, but when he runs, he's been successful. He's got 3 stolen bases in 3 attempts. Another one of these teams, huge base stealing team. Madrigal, the second baseman, has 15 of them. No one else is in double digits that's in the starting lineup tonight. Another one to short, and they'll throw to Madrigal, and that'll be it. So they work well together. It just didn't work well in that one play. Nothing across. 2 hits for Oregon State. Nothing for Arkansas as we head to the second.
NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Game 2, an elimination game and a championship game for Arkansas. Oregon State 4-0 in these elimination games. They lost their first game of the 2018 College World Series to North Carolina. There's been a steady flow of Cardinal red. Arkansas has made their way from Fayetteville. They have followed this team all season long. They come into the game looking for their 49th victory of the season. Oregon State, 53 wins, only 12 losses. They bat here in the top of the second inning. We'll start with Tyler Malone, the designated hitter. He has gone yard 3 times here in Omaha. A little late on that one. Will send it to the seats. Good news, it looked like Kirstead did see that ball. He chased it over there, and I think he actually saw that. Last night, what a nightmare for an outfielder. Ball popped up. He had no idea where it was. 0.
And in Baum Stadium, actually, the sun is also in his eyes around this time. The difference is the stadium's a little bit tall. There's another deck to this stadium that there is not Baum Stadium and the ball's in the shadow a little bit longer, and it's harder to track once it gets out of that shadow.
Yeah, it did.
0-2, he couldn't hold up. The sophomore 5'11", 180-pounder out of Roseville, Georgia. You take a look at TD Ameritrade. We've been playing the College World Series in this building since 2011. 1950 until then. That's when Rosenblatt Stadium was the place to be for college baseball fans and teams.
Hopefully Steve Ritchie, the camera guy in left field, has some sunblock.
Look out.
That sun is hitting him straight on.
You got to wear that one, don't you? Breaking ball that gets away from Casey Murphy right there. There he is. Hiding back there.
A sunbrella, we call that.
Boy, Steve.
Tyler Malone, a .375 hitter here at the College World Series as Casey Murphy takes his time and throws 1-2.
You said he had to wear that?
Yeah.
Easier said than done sometimes, especially with picking up the ball with the shadows. Maybe he didn't know if it was a fastball or not at the time.
I understand that. It's just, for Oregon State, if you get them on early, I think you're going to get your hits tonight. It feels like an offensive type night, especially the way that the first inning went. Yeah, says the guy who never stood in there and got hit, but it seemed like a good idea.
Ball. You a 500 hitter at one time?
I was. Brad, you know that?
I'd heard that before.
Yep, 0 for 2 in the opener, went 2 for 2 against the Marlins.
Shut it down?
Came back against the Expos. No, I should have. Had my wife take a picture of the scoreboard. 500 for that day. Never again.
That's about it.
Good pitch. He's gone. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Murphy. Final out of the first, and the leadoff man here in the second.
Find the field for that one, and it's important tonight for Casey Murphy to have that one. That's the breaking ball, throws a slider over. Froze Malone a few different times with that pitch, and you can see the exact same move here. Can't pull the trigger, hands stay put. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Casey Murphy.
That'll send Kyle Novak, the left fielder. He's a redshirt senior for Pat Casey at 5'10", 193. Marysville, Washington at almost 300. And he can go deep. Has a home run here at the World Series. Do you know that Eduardo's got a pitching record too?
I heard of that.
And that's why I did not return to the scene of the crime.
That was it?
2 innings.
You did shut it.
2 innings, got the W. Okay. That's it.
What level was that?
AAA.
Did you keep the ball?
No.
Really?
It was a walk-off home. I had to keep the ball.
You could have just grabbed one and said that was the game ball. I've done that before.
What were the circumstances by which you were pitching?
I was the last choice. 16-inning game. We had played extra innings the day before. Okay. And Steve Beazer, which is now the head coach
of Missouri,
he came in, walked the bases loaded, and they said, okay, we've seen enough. No outs. Here comes the sidearmer, Eduardo Perez. And I looked and see. I wanted to see how much I was throwing.
And
the clock didn't register.
Hey man, I know that feeling. My last spring training, throwing a game in a AA game, and the kid that was charting the pitches comes up to me after the game. He looks at his chart, he looks at me, he looks at his chart, he looks at me, he goes, throw any fastballs? The hardest pitch was 79. I would have released myself at that point. That was all she wrote.
The first round pick in '97 of the Brewers.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Yep.
1-2 ripped into left field. Kyle Novak. He is aboard, and the third hit of the night for Oregon State.
Guys, between innings for Casey Murphy, Wes Johnson, the Arkansas pitching coach, went up to him and is like, hey, man, you good? You know, some hard outs there. And he's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's going to be much better this next half inning. One thing Wes Johnson says about Casey Murphy is that he knows right away if Murphy's got it or if he doesn't. And he had a pretty poor start against South Carolina in the Super Regional. He said he knew immediately that it wasn't going to be good. Usually knows pretty early on, and so wanted to just come up and check with him.
Yeah, does that mean his suspicion level is high that maybe we don't have it? As Zach Taylor steps in, the junior. To the slider on the corner, maybe a fastball actually at 89 for a strike. Do you think that means that Wes is a little worried?
After the first inning, I would be. Yeah, after the contact that you saw. I mean, the key for Murphy, it's going to be no different than Femmel, is ball down in the zone and keeping it off the white. And if you can do that, then I think you can steal some outs tonight. Wes Johnson thinking the exact same thing. And both, and they have the ability to do this consistently, have to change eye level and have to change location and speed over the course of the night.
Guys, earlier today I took a walk around the parking lot area just to see, because there were long lines since early this morning, and I ran into Murphy's dad. I call him Papa Murph now, and Papa Murph told me, he said I hope he does better than he did in his last outing. He was keeping the ball up, and so far what we saw in the first inning, he kept the ball up even with the shadows. They were having good swings. He needs to be able to locate the same way you said.
1-1 to Zach Taylor, the first baseman. Change up 1-2.
That's a good one, too.
What time did you do your wandering today?
I went out, I want to say, around 1 o'clock.
Did you have a plan, or did you just kind of roam?
No,
was there any specific plan?
I was hoping a tailgater would adopt me. Maybe I could drink a little baseball water and have a little barbecue.
Nothing?
Nothing. Crickets.
1-2, left center field gap. Kjerstad going over, makes the catch. And he fires it all the way back in towards first, and getting back in time is Novak. Tough play for Heston Kjerstad, but he makes it. And the outfield has been very good and often tested early for Arkansas.
And a very tough angle. Watch Heston on the left hand of your screen. Right here, he hesitates because the ball gets in the sun. Then he finds his way, makes contact with Fletcher, looking at him, takes a peek, and then makes the catch, keeps his mouth open, as I always say a good outfielder should, making that call. Nicely done right there. The focus stayed on the baseball. That son's a beast.
Now you can see not a lot of fun out there. They've made the catches. Started the game off with Dominic Fletcher going all the way back and making a Jim Edmonds type over the shoulder catch, taking extra bases away from Nick Madrigal. And now Preston Jones, who was inserted into the lineup very late. If you're just joining us, Stephen Kwan, who is typically the leadoff hitter and center fielder for Oregon State, was in the starting lineup in the leadoff spot. Went out to the outfield, chased some balls around, took some batting practice, and it was decided that he was going to then hit in the 9 spot and play center. Then Pat Casey further decided he's not going to play at all, and it was Kwan, as Laura Rutledge reported, who went to him and said, I can't go. So Jones gets the nod, the first timer in center field. 286 hitter. He played 36. They had that one nailed, thrown down, perfect. How about the pitch out? And Grant Cook throws out Kyle Novak like they knew it was coming.
And they just pitched out with a guy that did not have a stolen base attempt the entire season.
They got something.
That's a pretty good idea right there.
Let's do it at homework.
Grant Cook makes the throw, and the side is retired. Still nothing in the second.
We're back. This is the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One here on ESPN. Omaha, Nebraska. Over 25,000 filled it last night, and we will have the same number, if not more, tonight. Championship is on the line. Arkansas wins it. They will take home their first College World Series title. Oregon State trying to force a Game 3, and if there is one, it'll be tomorrow night starting at 6:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. Bryce Femmel back on the mound. He'll face Dominic Fletcher, Carson Shaddy, and Jared Gates.
Small thing, but I got to talk to my guy Rutschman. Okay, so if your starting catcher takes a ball in the dirt and then turns around and gives it to the home plate umpire before he says anything, we got to discuss that. All right, that may be the one that I want right there. If he tells you to throw it out, that's fine, but don't ask him.
1-2. pretty good pitch. So your point is, sometimes I like a little dirt in the ball.
Yeah,
Bomb
that
the
might
pitcher.
be the one. I mean, baseballs don't all feel the same when you get them on the mound, and sometimes you get one that you really like. And he's done this probably 3 or 4 times in the College World Series. So it's like, no, we're good. We'll get rid of that one. No, give me that one. I might want it.
Yeah. You waited until the 3rd time, right? You're like, oh man, I like it. Oh, I love the way you think, KP.
Well,
be careful. A lot of tracks up there.
Thank you, Rav. Yep, there's some noise.
Fletcher's got one of the great left-handed strokes. When you see him, he finishes as if every time he makes contact, it's going to go over the wall. He's looking for a little chalk to throw in that bat. Ten homers in the regular season, 2 homers here at the College World Series, hitting .474. His brother, already a major leaguer, brother David Fletcher, plays, of course, for the LA Angels. We will have more Major League Baseball on tonight with the Cubs and the Dodgers. Right after we're done. 2-2. High, and he swings at it, and he's gone. Femmel elevated to 89, picks up his first strikeout of the night.
The difference there is up with a purpose, so it's intentional right here. Femmel trying to elevate the fastball. You see the 4-seamer, which he's going to throw primarily 2-seamers. When he goes 4, it's usually trying to come up in the zone or stick it on the inside part of the plate to the left-hander. That one elevated enough that Fletcher couldn't catch up with him.
Hits him backwards.
Well, he's going to do that all night. Yeah, that's kind of who Femmel is. That's why I was saying before, like, you can't sit on anything because he will throw anything at any time.
Second baseman Carson Shaddy for the first time rips this one in a left, and that's a hit. And that's the first hit for the Razorbacks tonight. Carson Shaddy, the second baseman, the redshirt senior, right out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, delivers.
This guy wakes up offensively. He is as streaky as they get. Carried the Arkansas team versus South Carolina in Super Regionals.
Guys, Carson probably feels a little better after that happened. Before the game, he said he was unusually nervous. He said, you'd think that I wouldn't be that nervous considering the situation we're in, but I'm really nervous. He was hoping that it would go away once first pitch came around, but then he feels a little better after getting a hit.
Usually helps, no doubt about that.
For a club that has a ton of power, and Arkansas does, Shaddy has the best slugging percentage on this club. He's the only guy slugging above 600.
This is Gates. He made one of those SportsCenter top 10 plays last night. A catch as he dove for it onto the dirt. Hurt his left knee, but got himself on SportsCenter all morning. Last night.
What do we got on the dive? What do we got on the dive?
The extension?
There was a kind of a post-catch dive, but it got him on TV a lot last night.
Gator armed it.
I don't blame him.
It was great.
No, I don't blame him either.
Did you use his last name there as a Gator armed? I like what you did there, Paul. I like what you did there.
Gator armed. Jared Gator armed. Yeah, I see what you did. Because I did it unintentionally. He did get called strike 2. Six of 17 in the College World Series. A home run for Jared Gates out of Wichita, Kansas. Carson Shaddy with a single leads off first.
Oh, he leaned into it. He leaned into that one too.
He did, and Jeff Hendricks could have brought him back.
Yes.
They probably should have brought him back because that last move, it was definitely trying to wear some of it. That'll get Pat Casey out of the dugout right there, and I think rightfully so.
First base umpires coming in. He may have a point to share as well. Chris Koski.
Watch right at the last minute for Gates. That's.
I wasn't even looking at the monitor. I was looking straight over, and just from right behind home plate, you could tell that bottom half leaned into it.
Let's see it again. I mean, there's going to be people who said he was trying to get out of the way of it.
And I think because the pitch was down, it was going to be really difficult for Jeff Hendricks behind home plate to be able to make the call.
Timeout, first base.
Well, I've seen people lean in with elbows and things like that. It's
Shins.
It's a hard one to lean a shin in.
Yeah.
And try to say, yeah, I'm trying to get hit on the shin. Oregon State last night, for the most part, it felt like most calls that were either reviewed or discussed ended up going against them.
Agreed.
Just the way it played out last night. Here's kind of the first call that led to a conversation, and it went the way of Arkansas, so they get 2-man on. And now Grant Cook, the catcher. He broke out last night. Talk about Carson Shaddy feeling nervous and feeling good. This guy was 1 for 11 before he delivered 2 hits last night. Like Carson Shaddy, Cook out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, a junior at 6 feet, 206 pounds. 2 on. Shaddy with a single. Gates hit by the pitch. They'll throw it behind, and diving back in with that right hand is Shaddy.
Oregon State leaning on their scouting report when it comes to positioning. Granier playing way off second base. Usually you see the second baseman and shortstop double play depth. He's playing more in the 5-6 hole.
I can't see that much.
And Madrigal tried to block that base with his knee. And I think he succeeded in perhaps jamming up Shaddy's fingers.
Like on that second pickoff, and Madrigal went and dropped the knee right before he got in there. I think it's kind of what jammed Carson Shaddy's right hand. I mean, we had just picked the second base, and you don't see anybody go back. Yeah, he absolutely. That lefty came right in front of the bag when he went to make the tag. See Shaddy's hand just jam right back into him.
You got it. Timeout. All right, here we go. I got you. Play.
They'll throw all the way down and late getting back. Shaddy almost slipped a little bit getting back to second. So they're thinking about Shaddy often out there at second base. If you watch Madrigal closely, he's given signs to his pitcher Femmel on whether to throw or not to.
Well, where Madrigal's playing too, he doesn't even necessarily need to know that Rutschman's going to throw that ball to second base because he can react just on the move right there. If they're playing normal depth, it's something where your middle infield has to be aware that Adley Rutschman's potentially going to make that throw. Now they try to pick again.
Shaddy's only stolen 4 bases this season in 6 attempts. Four times they have thrown to second. 2-1 to Grant Cook. 2-2. There's hardly objective crowd here, waiting for some reason to explode. Just misses. That was a strike last night often. Different strike zone, different umpire, but a lot of those calls right at the knees last night were strikes.
That's a close one to take with 2 strikes. Cook right there. As a hitter, you're just praying the umpire calls a ball. You don't even look back at him.
Nice job over there by Gretler. He'll step on third, throw to first, and he's offline. Save. But Michael Gretler saved a run by protecting the line. And he wipes out Shaddy at third.
Yeah, dead pull hitter right here. Hits one down the line. Nice play by Gretler, and I like the decision. Once you drop to a knee, save. Get the lead runner in Carson Shaddy. And if you can, you make a perfect throw to first and get him out. Taylor does a nice job of getting off the bag and just catching the ball, not trying to stretch, letting that ball get by him.
So Shaddy replaced at second by Jared Gates. Cooks at first. Here's Jack Spiggers, the number 9 hitter, with 2 down in the bottom of the second. Spiggers, a junior, 5'11", $180 out of Missouri City, Texas. He's got some power out of that number 9 spot. And the wind tonight, for the most part, flat and blowing maybe in very little.
Realize that's a fastball he got down in the knee to block. Usually you don't see catches.
You don't see that much. That's exactly right. That fastball, a lot of times there's not enough time to get down.
No.
They just go down and pick it.
It's really quick recognition.
Oregon State mentioned the 10 errors they've committed. They've hit 10 batters. Great pitch. Change up into 80, and way out in front of it was Biggers.
Of the off-speed stuff, that seems to be the one that Femmel has the most confidence in so far, is the changeup. Has good late life, sink down in the zone. I got Biggers to swing right over the top.
Saw that big bandage on that finger of his on his left hand. He did that during the postseason, and when he looked down on it, he attempted the bunt, got hit. It was not good. What has been good is actually the result of that bandage and his comfort level with it on. How about hitting .316 since it's been like that? People start a craze. You think more people will just tape that finger up and have it extending like that? Hey, I saw that on TV. I think I'm going to try that.
Worked for that guy.
Like the elbow sleeve for the kids shooting baskets outside. Whatever they're doing, we should do.
Because that one matters. You got the elbow sleeve on. It's going to help the stroke.
No doubt.
Kyle, he keeps pointing at you.
Ball.
4 straight changeups. 2 that he swung and missed, and the last 2 have gone out of the zone. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will be in motion here.
.42 pitches, only the bottom of the second inning for Bryce Femmel, but no runs in. This is close one, and now the bases are loaded, and you're going back to the top of the order.
Tell you what, the takes are good. They're close. We saw Cook take almost a strike 3 call, which would have been at the knees. It was called the ball. That one right there inside. Little frustration by Femmel, asking where are those pitches.
We served during the course of this tournament. It happens all season. This guy's a quarterback playing second base. I mean, when there's any moment that Nick Madrigal thinks that he needs to take control, he is not afraid to take control. That time, something that he wanted to say to Bryce Femmel on the mound, and Adley Rutschman, his catcher, caught them both in. Could be a pep talk, could be something about signs, but the kid has a high baseball IQ at second base.
Eric Cole, leadoff hitter, bases loaded. First big chance for Arkansas. First pitch in the dirt, and Rutschman holds on to it, 1-0. 52 RBI on the season for Eric Cole, and he has really struggled here at the College World Series. 3 for 17 and 0 for his last 10. Leadoff hitter, one of the better hitters on this team all season long. Inside 2-0. There's Jared Gates. He's down there at third. Grant Cook, second base. Jack Figures at first. Gates on after getting hit by a pitch. Hit by pitch, fielder's choice and a walk. That's how they scored 3 runs with the bases loaded. There wasn't a lot of hitting going on by Arkansas. It all happened in one big inning. Will tonight be the second for them?
Looking for something else 2-0 with that swing against an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, because Femmel threw it by him.
How can you though? 88. I mean, you got the bases loaded. Right now, you have to sit fastball. I know that he throws a changeup a lot, but he has just thrown 4 changeups in a row out of the zone. He mixed in a couple fastballs that he had missed with, but the fastball is the one that you have to look for. 2-0.
Grounded out to short his first time up. 2-1 in the dirt, gets away. And just like last night, they do not need a hit to get a run. 1-0 Arkansas.
We talked earlier about an 88-mile-per-hour 2-seam fastball that Adley Rutschman got on his knees and he blocked. This time, this ball is a little to his right. Can't do it. It's a 2-seamer, 87 miles per hour, and he actually played it right. You have to backhand it. There's no way he can get in front of that ball for a 2-seam fastball. Unfortunately for him and the Beavers, they end up down 1-0 runners at second and third.
Well, the other thing there, you're expecting the miss to be on the opposite side, on the arm side, usually with Femmel. The miss on the 2-seam fastball usually runs too much. That one he held on too long, and Rutschman couldn't get the glove there.
3-1. Ball 4, loaded again. The pitchers are not missing by much. And now Casey Martin comes to the plate with the sacks full and some.
And this is what happens when you miss location. Watch where the pitch is. It gets played. It's a strike. You see Rutschman coming back to get it, but he sets up outside. Umpires right over where this pitch goes. Just right there, because he's on top of it, a little bit off the plate, doesn't give him the call.
Brandon Eisert has gone out to the Oregon State bullpen. Nate Yeske is coming to the mound to have a conversation with Bryce Femmel. So to recap, similar to last night, there was a first inning error. There was a hit batter. And then there was a wild pitch which allowed the run to score. Arkansas is not lighting it up with the bats. They've got 1 hit. And yet they lead 1-0 and still have them loaded as Eisert begins to loosen in the bullpen. Against Mississippi State Friday here, 5 1/3. He gave up just 1 hit. He struck out 3. He was outstanding. There was some thought perhaps that they would start Brandon Eisert in this game.
Yeah, I talked to Pat Casey about that very thing before the game, and he said, you know what, Femmel won 10 ball games, and he's been a starter for us in the entire season, and Eisert hasn't started a game all year. That, I think, was the main reason why we saw Femmel start the game. That being said, it's going to be a short leash right now, because Eisert was so good in his one outing here at the College World Series. That 5 1/3 innings was a career high. They may need that tonight from Eisert.
And I'm sure Eisert's not ready yet. But there was some conversation that last night when Heimlich started to lose the strike zone that perhaps Oregon State was a little tardy in getting a relief pitcher up and ready. Here you have the bases loaded. The hottest hitter for Arkansas at the plate in Casey Martin. If he goes 1-0, 2-0, do you make a change during the at-bat?
You could. Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Femmel, and I know he's walked 2 guys in the inning, the control is really good. Coming into this game, it was 24 walks in 111 innings.
First pitch to Martin. Ball 1. He's been phenomenal. Hitting .421. Couple of doubles. Came into the night 8 for 19 here in Omaha. Dangerous guy to have up. But he got under it and popped it up. Shallow center field. Preston Jones is under it. And they will strand 3. Starting to feel a lot like last night. Only 1-0 Arkansas. Jones, and then back to the top of the order for the Beavers when we come back to Omaha.
Dominic Fletcher's older brother David is in the big leagues with the Angels right now, and that resulted in a very special call for Dom the other day.
I got done with my game, got back to the hotel, and I got a text from my brother. He said, Mike wants to FaceTime you. I was like, all right, we're sitting by the phone waiting for like 10 minutes. Then he finally called, talking about my home run. He's like, you pimping stuff now? I was like, yeah, I guess. It was a really awesome moment, and it's just one of my favorite players.
So David Fletcher and Mike Trout have lockers right next to each other, and Trout's been staying tuned to Arkansas here in the College World Series because of David. Definitely wanted to give some love to David's little brother.
Not a bad guy to have given you a little love if a baseball player goes. Trouty, that'll work out. Mike may be in the clubhouse watching right now. His team's getting hammered 6-0 by the Red Sox. Your boy J.D. Martinez hit another home run, Eddie.
Oh, wow.
Pick-up play in the top of the third. Change up to Preston Jones. With that caught stealing of Kyle Novak, it came with Jones at the plate, so it prevents Madrigal from leading off this third inning. It's been a while since Preston Jones has swung a bat.
So far 2 for 5 in this College World Series, and looks like Coach Casey really liked what he saw in those 5 at-bats. Coming in, giving you deep counts. Lefty on the mound and Murphy. You got pretty good defense out there in center field also.
You know, at the top you mentioned how you need to see some production from the 1, 2, 3 hitters to get it to Larnach and Rutschman. They're also going to need some guys at the bottom of the order, and Novak got a hit. Somebody else is going to have to hit besides Madrigal, Larnach, and Rutschman for this team to be successful long term. Win tonight and tomorrow night, right?
Oh, they have to.
Into the glove for a strikeout. Third strikeout of the night for Casey Murphy. There you go, Logan Forsythe. He was an all-SEC first teamer here at Arkansas. Getting some rips right now at Dodger Stadium. David Ross, Tim Kirkchen, Dave Fleming have the call again of the Dodgers and the Cubs. Comes your way following our game, and if our game isn't complete by 10 Eastern, start about ESPN2. Arkansas leading 1-0 over Oregon State. Top of the order, Madrigal hit a rope to center field his first time up, and he doesn't wait very long if he sees a good pitch.
So first time through the order, 3 strikeouts for Casey Murphy. With the first 4 in this lineup, we're all going to be big leaguers. Madrigal, Grenier, Larnach, Rutschman, all with loud, well, 2 with loud outs and 2 with loud singles. See what they do the second time through.
See Casey Murphy standing there in the sunlight, throws it into the shade. That one's up, and it's 2-0. Kyle said, Eddie, these are major leaguers, the next 4. What is it about their approach? Why are they so comfortable? What makes them major leaguers? What are the things that you see when you watch Madrigal swing a bat?
Well, what makes them potential major leaguers to me is you look at one. He struck out 6 times during this season. Yes,
season.
He did not.
The whole season. Right?
The entire season. He was out at the beginning of the season with a broken hand. Yet he understands the strike zone really well. Defensively, he's solid, but most importantly, he uses the entire field, tough to pitch to. You come in, he'll pull it. We saw the power to straightaway center. He will also hit the ball, slap it to right. Very good idea, plate recognition.
Center field, Fletcher came in, and now he realizes I'm good. 2 times up, 2 times out, both to the center fielder. So a lot of times you get to the College World Series, you got 2 or 3 potential major leaguers. They got 4 guys that were taken in the first round, including the supplemental 37th overall pick, Caden Grenier. Adley Rutschman isn't draft eligible. He's not on this. He's going to be like top 5 next season. And in many people's minds, he continues his ascension to his potential. He'll be the #1 overall pick. You're looking at 4 first-round picks on this Oregon State team.
I think between these two teams, these are the best two offenses I can remember matching up in a finals, especially since we've been at this ballpark.
Yeah, we've seen arms. Florida brought their arms. Their pitchers and their draft picks were high again this year. You got Jackson Coar, Brady Singer, both going to the Royals, both top 33. But combined offense, I can see that. He gets a call, striking a breaking ball into Caden Grenier. And you can hear a chorus of boos. Some Oregon State fans not pleased with that. That call. There's Rutschman. Rutschman had a good quote. He's like, you know, this elimination game thing that we've had success in, you just tend to play a little bit differently because of the situation you're in. He hopes that the team would bring that same intensity tonight, because this is it. Popped up, playable. Shaddy. That'll do it. We'll come back to Omaha. Arkansas coming back to the plate. Kerstad, Bonfield, Fletcher.
Can't go anywhere else in college baseball and get fans like we have in Razorback Nation.
All these Hog fans really come out and support us, and it's pretty much like we're playing a home game here in Omaha. It's really awesome just to hear that stadium call the Hogs and get really loud.
Fans were lined up since 5:30 this morning. This is what it looked like, the scene outside. Imagine just being like an Oregon State fan in the middle of that. You get arms going up and the Woo Pig Suey.
Tell you what, though, when being out there, I met a lot of Oregon State fans in line, and they were awesome. You know, flying all the way out here from all parts of the country, representation. They showed up also. They're doing their best here.
Arkansas 1 through 3 hitters are now 1 through 16 through the first 2 games of this College World Series. The only hit was this guy, Kerstad, who had that double in the 9th last night.
Inside.
2-1.
You guys are talking about all these Arkansas fans here. A couple of the Oregon State players were hearing Woo Pig Suey during batting practice, and they looked over at me and said, what are they saying? We've been trying to figure it out. They could not decipher it. Not a translation for that to those guys.
Right. Woo Pig Suey doesn't travel to the Pacific Northwest. What are they saying? That's a great question. Four different SEC schools on a 3-1 ball 4 have won the College World Series title the last 10 years. LSU, South Carolina twice, Vanderbilt, and Florida. Arkansas trying to add their name to that. And here you go, the SEC schools that were represented at this year's College World Series. And that's it. You see Pat Casey or Nate Yeskie signal to bring in Brandon Eisert. So 1 walk here in the bottom of the 3rd. And you knew this was a real likelihood. First sign of trouble for Femmel. He's gone. Eisert comes in. Once again, starting pitcher. Can't get through the, in this case, 3rd inning. We're back. Femmel's night is over. At the College World Series, he has really struggled. He has not lasted 4 innings in any of his starts. And he and Heimlich were a disappointment given their incredible records that they had. Just win-loss. 2+. 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks and a K. He starts the inning off by walking Heston Kerstad. And I understand that this team is known really for its offense, but between Heimlich and Femmel, you're looking at like 26 wins and 2-3 losses this season.
Yeah, it's actually pretty remarkable that Oregon State's in the spot that they are, given how much their starting pitching has struggled. This is one of the reasons why. Brandon Eisert's been outstanding so far in this College World Series. His last outing was about as good as you can ask. 5 1/3 inning, Against Mississippi State, gave up just 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 3, threw 72 pitches in that one. And again, that 5 1/3 was a career long as far as innings pitched for Isert. They may need all of that tonight.
Yeah. Here's Luke Bonfield for his pitch way outside. Obviously, you'll see a little more velocity here from Isert. For his pitch, 88. He will try to do what Christian Chamberlain did last night. He gave him 4 2/3 of no-run ball. He struck out 11. Another one of those guys on this Arkansas lineup who has not got on track here in Omaha. 2-0.
It's a little funky too. I mean, it's like a little Sid Fernandez turning back 25 years, where he breaks that back leg down, pauses for a minute, then jumps at home plate. That's why that fastball looks like it jumps on you. The 88, 89 plays up. Changeup's really good for Isert.
Called strike, gets the outside corner, and it's 2-2. 4 pitches, all of them fairly similar location to Bonfield, the DH. Grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. He's a senior. And that second called strike set up that swing.
Absolutely, it did. Made him start looking away, and he expanded. As a hitter, once you get out of your comfort zone and start doubting the umpire behind the plate, you start chasing pitches out of the zone. And 2-2 count. Luke Bonfield chased a pitch out. Watch where this pitch was right here. This was the 2-1 pitch. It would have been 3-1 instead. Now it's 2-2. That's called a strike. Then on the 2-2 pitch, he expands. No chance, as it was elevated also.
Dominic Fletcher, there'll be no pitch here. Will throw over to first. So Kerstad, who's there, has been on twice. He reached on an error and a walk. Comfortable take from Dominic Fletcher on that pitch. Didn't flinch, didn't move. A rare California kid on this Arkansas roster. Fletcher is it at 5'9", 188. Isert will throw you 90. It'll look a little quicker. He's also out of a changeup this season. And Fletcher got jammed, and who's going to get it? Anybody? No, Rutschman ran after it. Same way he used to run down a football field seeking out a would-be tackler after kicking off for Oregon State. Throw some pads on him. It felt like he was ready to go hit somebody.
Yeah, he picked this ball up pretty quick also. First thing he does is take off that mask, and there he goes.
Now he looks in for the sign. Isert threw 72 pitches, faced one over the minimum. Got the final 16 outs against Mississippi State. Isert's teammates will label that heater of his the invisible fastball. also pitched in the opener against North Carolina. He just gave up 1 earned in 4 innings of work. He threw 81 pitches. Be a starter next year, Kyle?
Isert?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he absolutely could. I think Christian Chamberlain, we've seen, absolutely could.
Abel?
Absolutely will.
Good location. That one's going to get to the seats. There's
like
nothing else he could do. Yeah, nothing else he could do but foul that ball off. It's
and
that's not strike out.
The way this swing path is right now for Fletcher, if you can execute the inside fastball, if he gets to it, he's going to pull it foul. And that's exactly what Isert does right here. He was trying to go away. It leaked in, but you can see that one tied him up. If he gets the barrel to it, he's going to get all the way out in front of the plate, and there's no chance he can keep that one fair. The one he's going to hammer is that middle of the way fastball if he gets to it.
Good pitch right on the inside corner, strike 3, and Isert is picking up where he left off in his last outing. Comes in and strikes out the first 2.
There's the invisible fastball right there. Both strikeouts since Isert has come into the ball game have been on fastballs. Got Luke Bonfield swinging on a fastball away, and this time just locked up Fletcher on the fastball down and in.
All gas, no brakes. That's one of the things that Dave Van Horn wanted his team to play like tonight, even though they were up 1-0. Get into a game 3 situation, anything can happen. Just because you're up 1-0, he said last night after the game, we didn't do anything. And that offense, as good as it's been, has really been shut down here the last couple of nights. They had 1 hit through 4 last night. They got 1 hit so far in this game.
Arkansas has scored 5 runs in these finals. 1 on a hit by pitch, 1 on an error, 1 on a walk, 1 on a wild pitch, and 1 on a base hit. So they really have taken advantage of everything that Oregon State has given them. It hasn't necessarily been because the offense is clicking the whole time. It's been enough, though.
Left the bases loaded in the second last night. Similar. They left him loaded twice. And obviously, it didn't kill him. They won the game. That's a good pitch to even it up at 1-1. Shaddy looked around yesterday and he looked at his teammates and said, this is crazy seeing all these folks here. He grew up in Fayetteville. He wanted to be a Razorback since he was about 4 years old. And not heavily recruited out of high school. Dave Van Horn played with his dad at Arkansas back in the early 80s. They hadn't really spoken a ton over the years, but he saw Shaddy at a state tournament, knew his dad, said, I don't have a lot of money, in fact none, to offer you a scholarship, but if you want to walk on and play for me, happy to have you. And that was a dream come true for Carson Shaddy. Now he's played his way into the second base position as a redshirt senior and a big part of this Razorback team.
Kid's had a great career. Started as a catcher, played a bit third base, now over at second base, has found a home. The power's been real this year for Shaddy.
1-2. Fouls it back. But what impact can a guy like Isert coming out of that bullpen when you were behind Femmel in the field or Rutschman and you realize like it's not great, and now all of a sudden this guy comes in, strikes out the first 2. What's the impact on the rest of the team?
Just look at the pace right now. First of all, defensively, it's a huge impact. You know the ball's going to be thrown over consistently for strikes. Now you take it on in, you give yourself a chance. An offense that has been very able all season long.
Runner goes, strike 3. That'll do it. Welcome back to the game. Brandon Isert strikes out 3. Battery mate goes over and gets a high 5. And we'll see Adley Rutschman when we come back.
Different. Obviously, I've shortened up my stance. I load more into my hip, which allows me to kind of be more balanced when I land my bat path. I'm able to get inside and be longer on plane with the baseball. I think that's why I've been able to hit more balls to opposite field with power. Hitting's a tough ordeal, so it doesn't happen every time.
Adley Rutschman's adjustments to his swing have paid big dividends for him, but one of the main reasons why he was able to make those adjustments was focusing full-time on baseball. He had been part of the Oregon State football team as their kicker and made the decision that he was going to go to baseball because he loved baseball and only just liked football. But he said it was a lot harder than he expected, and in fact, his mom was upset about it. She said, wait a second, I really enjoyed watching you play football. Are you kidding me? And he's like, Mom, come on, I'm going to really focus on baseball. She had to really be convinced that it was going to be okay. Now he says he has a hard time actually watching a football game because he wants to be out there and play, guys. He really wants to get out on the football field all the time, too.
No doubt. Yeah, it's rare. Rare nowadays where a mom would encourage your son who wants to change or devote himself to one sport to try to convince him to stay to the other one. And he was really good at it.
It was a full ride then, too.
It's true. That's another factor. This is Trevor Larnach first, and he hits one foul.
And those hitting adjustments, he went to the Summer League and the Cape Cod League and made those adjustments, struggled there offensively, but he was okay with it as long as he knew and he understood what the process was. Use the inside part of your leg, the left leg from the left-handed stance, and then the right leg from the right-handed stance, and he stayed inside all that strength, and it's worked well going opposite field and using it well to recognize off-speed pitches too.
Larnach, frightening bat speed. 0-2 misses up high. There's a guy out of Pleasant Hill, California. 5 doubles, which is a College World Series record. 7 RBIs. He's hitting .429. Big power hitting junior at 6'4", 210, who will be in the major leagues as long as he continues to develop in the next couple of years. Good take, 2-2. Tough inning here for Murphy. You got Larnach who singled, then Rutschman. He too singled in the first.
This plays perfectly into the Razorbacks' plan. If these guys are going to come up to hit, make sure there's no one on before them.
Minnesota Twins waiting for Larnach to finish his College World Series before they can talk to him and sign him. Blaine Knight, starter and winner last night, and new fishing buddy of Kyle Peterson.
That's right. He's better than I am.
He caught 10. Kyle caught 1/2. 2-2, little high, 3-2. How do you catch a half? Or you split it with Matt Cronin. So you guys each caught 1. You split it in half. Boom.
On the board.
And you got wiped out in that bass fishing contest with Blaine Knight.
I covered. That was plus 11.
So you.
Got Larnach to foul tip one into the mitt of Grant Cook. So Larnach retired for the first time. Laura talked about the old football. This is Rutschman. He kicks off. Boom! He recovers his own onside kick. Adley Rutschman kicked off, recovered his own onside kick. And then in this game against Stanford, he kicks off to one of the great return men really in the history of college football, certainly recently. And Adley Rutschman is there to tackle McCaffrey. That's why Mom was a little upset.
He's good.
He's good at this too in the fourth. Looks at a called strike from Murphy. What'd you do? You blow your monitor up over there?
Almost went over.
Not quite sure what happened. I think you saw that.
I heard it.
Focus on the field right there. We got action on the field.
Eyes
we need to look over here.
Forward. A lot of noise over there.
It went down just like McCaffrey did on that play.
That ball is hammered to left. Adley Rutschman has tied the game. The catcher hits his second home run, his 11th RBI, and batting almost .560 at the College World Series.
We talked about the approach. Laura talked about it also. Watch his hands, legs, quiet. The start is early. Stays on the inside part of that right leg. Pitch recognition. Adley Rutschman with no one on. Says, it's okay, boys. I'll drive myself in. 11 RBI so far in this College World Series.
He is some kind of hitter from both sides, too. When you bump your average up 165 points and the power continues to come in just 1 year, remember, just a sophomore.
A lot of Buster Posey comparisons, and this guy's a switch hitter. So we got action now all over the place. After that solo shot by Rutschman, you saw Barrett Lowski run out to the bullpen. And he was joined out there by Jake Rindell and Matt Cronin. Fifth most in series history. Rutschman and Larnach have been a dynamic duo. First set of teammates all time with 13 hits each in a College World Series.
With one swing of the bat, the stadium looked like a wave, especially in the outfield, the general admission seats. Everyone that was a Razorback was standing, and the Beaver fans were sitting, and all of a sudden it was just a contrast. Switcherooski there.
1-1 to Michael Gretler, the senior. Popped up and playable. Right fielder Cole. 2 down. Reminder, for more coverage of this College World Series and interactive brackets, go to NCAA.com. The Oregon State offense now with 4 hits, not a ton. First time they've been held back-to-back games coming into this one with fewer than 10 hits. They've scored 6 runs their last 2 games. Credit Arkansas's pitching. Really look at the numbers. Madrigal contributes, but Larnach and Rutschman have been outstanding. And now Tyler Malone struck out his first time up. Early in the World Series, he was hot, 3 homers. Rutschman, one of those times you talk all about him, you set him up, you go over his history and his improvement, and he gave up the sport of football, and he blasts a home run over the wall. 9th home run of the season for Adley. This one is hit pretty well to center. Fletcher uses the glove to block the sun. He looks smooth out there. But we are tied. We got a new ball game here, 3.5 in.
Pitch right out over the plate. Adley Rutschman gets the extension, ties this bad boy up at 1. Going to the bottom half.
Buster Posey he's a great catcher, a great player. You know, I enjoy watching him play. The bigger compliment that I get, though, is that I remind people of how my dad caught. My mom would always tell me that when he caught, he had the most energy on the field. So great with how he interacted with pitchers. His pitchers knew and stuff that he wanted them to succeed. That's how I want to be. I want to, you know, be a good representation of him.
Following in his father's footsteps, Adley Rutschman just delivered a big home run and tied this game up. No doubt about it. Just think of the qualities that major league teams look for in catchers. You know, leadership, ability to deal with a variety of pitchers, to be a leader. I mean, he's run out and put his arm around everybody that's come off that mound, regardless of their performance. So we can check that box. And he's a switch hitter. And he's getting better. I mean, Kyle, what do you think he does? He's got 9 homers this season. Given what we've seen him do, where does he go next year? 15?
A power standpoint? Yeah, that number wouldn't surprise me at all, and it wouldn't shock me if there's even more. It's just his understanding of his swing and the changes that he's made and how quick he's been able to incorporate them is pretty amazing.
Let's remember up there at the beginning of the season, the ball doesn't travel well at all. Right. But I think we have a pleasure here of being able to watch 2 catchers that know how to frame really well, block really well. And Rutschman and the defensive prowess of Cook for the Razorbacks. It's special.
And Eisert looks really good. He has faced 3, struck them all out. And really, if Oregon State's going to win this World Series, it's going to be about their bullpen. In 7 World Series games, the starter has lasted less than 5 in 6 of them. No, he did not, so not another strikeout. Through the 3 innings tonight, this bullpen, Eddie and Kyle, have struck out 35. The only bullpen with more since aluminum bats were introduced in 1974, Vanderbilt in 14. They had 36, so they're going to shatter that record.
Wow.
And they've leaned heavily on the bullpen.
And coming into this, that wasn't really the story for Oregon State.
No.
I mean, the story was the starters, how good Heimlich had been. Femmel had been very good all year. Well, they just tied him.
He's faced 4, struck them all out. As a team, Arkansas is heading down that path again. That's the 5th strikeout by an Arkansas batter tonight.
Eisert has done a very good job of this, utilizing a fastball going up in the zone when he gets into a plus count. This time runs it right by Gates. He froze Fletcher with a fastball earlier. This time throws it right by Jared Gates.
Grant Cook, then Jax Biggers here in the bottom of the 4th. Arkansas again, 1 hit.
Ball. Inside.
2-0. Some numbers on that Rutschman homer if you're looking for them. It traveled 369 feet. Launch angle of 27. Exit velocity off the bat, Eddie, of 101. Couple of hits last night in game 1 for Grant Cook. Popped up. Sky high in the infield. Shortstop, Grenier. 2 down.
The College World Series Finals, Arkansas versus Oregon State, Game 3, tomorrow at 6:30 on ESPN2.
If necessary, that's when we will be broadcasting Game 3 and the decider of this College World Series final. Pretty simple formula. Oregon State's got to win. Arkansas wins. There'll be a dog pile on the mound as they will be first-time World Series champs. Number 9, Jax Biggers, and the 9-hole hitter with 2 down. Pours one in there for a strike is Brandon Eisert. To be on your toes as a fielder, you don't get many opportunities with Eisert. Really, with this bullpen, they keep striking guys out. Called strike 2. Breathe deep. Dave Van Horn, longtime Arkansas coach, of course played there, went to Nebraska, brought them to this College World Series twice. He said you looked around in 01 with the Nebraska team and there was 1 million people rooting them on.
Wearing red.
Very similar feel to watching this Arkansas fan base show up for him.
Razorback fans want to finish this tonight. A lot of hotel rooms, another convention coming in this weekend, and not a lot of rooms available. Checkout time tomorrow, early.
Yes, he did. Another one. Brandon Eisert picks up strikeout number 5. Real solid work. Bottom of the order, Beavers, Novak, Taylor, and Jones when we come back.
You're watching the College World Series presented by Capital One. Arkansas head coach Dave Van Horn here with us. And, Coach, you're able to score a run without a hit, but especially with Eisert in there now, what adjustments do you guys need to make?
Yeah, well, he started out and everything he was throwing was to his arm side, in on our lefties, away from the righties. That inning he made an adjustment, started using the whole plate. So we just got to get a pitch, and we've got to square it up. I mean, he's seen 6 hitters. He's got to pop up and 5 strikeouts. So we've got a lot of work to do. We got to get through this lineup, a couple more times. We've got to find a way to score.
What can you say about Casey Murphy so far tonight?
Well, you know, it didn't start out great. They were squaring up ball after ball, but he kind of settled in a little bit. He made a mistake with the changeup and left it right there. He's battling. He's giving us some outs.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sent some arms out to that bullpen. Right now just hanging out in the Arkansas pen, but a lot of good arms, a lot of good power arms too. And to me it feels like, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, it just feels like they're looking to get as much as they can out of Murphy before they make a move, because the bullpen for Oregon State's been so good. You can't risk the chance of losing another run if you're Arkansas, or two or worse.
No, I think Dave Van Horn kind of just said that too. You know, I mean, he's got us some outs. And I think that's the thought process going in, is how many outs can Murphy get you? At this point, he's got you 12, only giving up 1 run. And I think you would absolutely take that right now if you're Dave Van Horn. Some have been loud outs, but they're still outs.
Recapping, Adley Rutschman, the home run on the 4th. That tied this game up. As we head to the 5th inning, College World Series Game 2. Arkansas wins. They get the championship. Oregon State 4-0 in elimination games here. Can force a Game 3. The balancing act is you got to have one eye on Game 3 with regards to who you use and how long you go from bullpen perspective, but you are trying desperately to win this thing and not even see a Game 3.
Right.
One and two. Last night was Lowski. There was Cronin. We didn't see Jake Rindell. He's warming now as that pitch gets away, and we're even at 2-2.
If you're Heston Kjerstad, which I affectionately call Hestad, combine both names, I mess that up all the time. I even told him before the game, you have to be praying right now that sun just starts creeping up. Right now, you see it by the legs, the shadows. He's moving up a little bit. Oh, he's take a couple steps in and forget about that sun from now on.
Yeah, he moves in a few feet. He's out of the sun.
He was concerned about it before the game, especially after what happened yesterday off Larnach's fly ball. Ended up as a double. Just a couple more minutes and you're out of it. Hestad.
Yeah, you were like, was that sort of a quasi-apology? Like, look, this is going to happen.
I acknowledge and I recognize what I say. So I was like, hey, I'm going to come up to you and tell you.
2-2 to Novak. Jared Gates. One down. We get a lot of little leaguers watching the games. You watch all these guys catch pop-ups with one hand. Have we moved away from, let's get two hands? Is it all one hand now, outfielders? Pop-ups, infielders?
You see a lot of it, yes. I think the technology right now with the gloves have really helped. You always teach two hands. The problem is sometimes, especially on pop-ups, you end up putting that glove in front of the other hand in front of your eyesight. And a lot more guys are trained better, but with little kids, I still love to teach the two-handed approach.
He'll use two hands. He's just waiting for one.
Come on, one right at me, please.
13 outs recorded by Casey Murphy. Kind of a quirky statistic. None of them have been on the ground. Either strikeouts or pop-outs. That's it.
That's an indicator to me of location tonight for Murphy. We talked about it earlier, where everything had been elevated, and that's why you see so many fly ball outs. That's usually not a good idea. And I know that this ballpark plays big, but I think it's playing pretty fair tonight. He's got an elite center fielder who's bailed him out a few times.
Good pitch.
Slider there.
Yep. 1-2. Zach Taylor. Pat Casey, he will join us. The architect of one of the great baseball programs in the country, Oregon State. Kyle and I were having a conversation earlier today just about how we've been seeing guys like Abel. Rutschman, of course, will be back next year. Eisert, this one on the ground, and that is off the glove of the diving Casey Martin. And Zach Taylor delivers a hit for Oregon State. You said to me, I think they're going to be good forever. You know, for a long, long time.
He's built an absolutely elite program. And that's what Pat Murphy has done. Dave Van Horn's done the exact same things. That's an elite athlete at third base that just couldn't quite get to it right there. Casey Martin, full extension ball off the end of his glove. Zach Taylor on there at first base. Earlier we saw Kyle Novak just one slot ahead of him in the lineup take off and run. I don't think that we're going to see that here. You want to make sure you get Madrigal to the plate.
Don't be surprised if you see the bunt even with one out. We saw Coach Martin put it on earlier in the College World Series to get a base runner in scoring position for Nick Madrigal.
Third baseman's playing way back.
Exactly. Yeah, Casey Martin's 3-4 steps behind, now creeps in before the pitch.
Amazing the impact that a guy like Madrigal and then the middle of that order can have on a team and in a pitcher and in a game. You just sort of know that they're lurking out there. And they've been so good.
The same count with a runner on first, 1-0 last time. They put a pitch out on with runner at first base.
Yeah, I don't think Taylor's going anywhere here.
Preston Jones, the number 9 hitter, the batter. He does square to bunt, and that's a great one. And he's going to beat it out. Preston Jones, a late add to the lineup when Stephen Kwan was scratched. And you just kind of wonder if this is going to be a night where that decision could pay big dividends. He lays down a bunt, turns the lineup over for Madrigal.
And Paddington coach Casey sends the bunt play right here. This isn't Jones's idea, but he executes it perfectly. Runs down the line, good speed, perfect location. Now you have runners at first and second for Nick Madrigal, which usually during the regular season he's your 3-hole hitter.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to face Casey Murphy. Third time around the order, Jake Rindle's been up and throwing for a while for Arkansas, and I would suspect that we see Rindle right here.
And if we do, give a lot of credit Coach Van Horn for having the bullpen ready before the having the bullpen already tossing before the inning even started, recognizing the amount of fly balls that have been given up by Murphy, the swings that have been on him, and knowing that the third time around the lineup is soon to come.
You could just point out there, they're going to bring Rindle in. It'll be his 26th appearance. And he inherits a tough spot, typical of a reliever. Nick Madrigal comes up, hit almost 400 this season. He's got 2 men on as Casey Murphy comes off, and he will be congratulated by the Razorbacks on the top step. Stay with us in the 5th, 2 on for Oregon State, needing to win the game. So after that bunt, which turned out to be a bunt for a hit, look who comes out to give him some love. The guy that he replaced in this lineup. If you're just joining us, recapping Stephen Kwan, who was the leadoff hitter for this team, and the center fielder was out, take batting practice, moved him down from the leadoff spot to the number 9 spot, went out to the outfield to take some outfield, told his coach Pat Casey, I cannot go. So we went from the leadoff hitter in the first lineup, then he went to the 9-hole, then he was out of the lineup, and now Preston Jones has played a role here. A bunt single, first and second, and Arkansas's got a new pitcher.
Jake Rindle, the junior right-hander out of Fayetteville, on for Arkansas. Rindle used primarily as a reliever this year, on for the 26th time, made just 1 start. 53 1/3, 64 strikeouts, a 17th round pick this year to the Cubs. Fastball, slider primarily. Fastball, when it's good, has good sink. The slider he'll go to try to finish guys off, but now he faces one of the best hitters in the country in Nick Madrigal.
Madrigal twice flew out to center field. Madrigal prefers to hit down in the 3 spot. 0 for 6 in the finals. Look out.
It's hard to tell a strikeout pitcher. Keep the ball down. Let's try to play for the double play. This is a contact guy at the plate. Struck out only 6 times during the regular season.
They talked all about unfinished business. They got here last year. 54 wins when they arrived. They left empty-handed. And Rindle looked like he aimed that, and he's behind 2-0. That didn't look like a comfortable pitch, Kyle.
Well, that one looked like he was trying to miss a bat. And you see that sometimes when a guy's throwing a slider, he's trying to make it break instead of really trusting it, throwing through the pitch. That's the action that you get. It's pulled on the glove side away from Madrigal. Now you're in the 2-0 hole.
Ramage throwing in the Arkansas pen. Grindel behind 3-0.
You can see Wes Johnson, the pitcher coach, back behind Dave Van Horn right there, and he got on the horn in a hurry. He didn't like what he's seen in the first 3 pitches from Jake Grindel here.
Wow. Madrigal may have bought himself a walk there. That certainly looked like he got a lot on the plate. And now they are loaded with 1 out.
I'm with you on that, Carl.
So 1 batter, 1 walk, and now 1 meeting on the mound as Wes Johnson, the pitching coach, comes out. After that first pitch sailed up and out of the strike zone, it just felt like Grindel got a little tentative.
His last 2 pitches were cutters. You could see fastballs at 89, 90 miles an hour. They were fighting to cut, and you could tell the first one was way high, the second one right in the middle.
As we meet here on the mound in the top of the 5th inning, we got ourselves David Ross. He's out there giving some advice. Schwarber there on the ground. A couple of World Series appearances for Rossi. 97 with the Tigers, 98 with the Gators. He went looking for another team, but they wouldn't have him. Now he's on our team as he gets set to call Cubs and Dodgers.
Still holding court out there.
Still holding court.
Played against him in 97.
Do you remember, like, did he stand out?
I didn't pitch in that one. Yeah. Tim Hudson really stood out. Tim Hudson won 15 games with 20 home runs that year for Auburn.
Well, back here, huge spot in this one. Oregon State threatening, bases loaded. Caden Grenier. And another ball after that meeting with Wes Johnson.
Just looks tentative.
Yes, he does.
First pitch slider, too. No, you're Grenier. Even though he's thrown 5 in a row, you know one thing. Fastball.
Better there. Cutter, you could see just a little bit of movement away from Grenier right there.
Zach Taylor's at third base. We didn't really talk much about it. That bunt for a hit. Preston Jones flew down the first baseline. Real good speed at second base as well if there's a ball hit to the outfield for a hit. 1-1 to Grenier. He lays down a bunt. It is, maybe going to go foul. Throw to first, safe. Wow. Casey Martin played it. Suicide squeeze.
With the bases loaded, I'm telling you right now, I did not see this bad boy coming. What a bunt. You talk about foul ball base hit, that should be the execution. And it was, and a great attempt at third base by Casey Martin. Look at the reaction he had. He knows he has no play at home plate, but still the speed of Grenier, the execution down the line, too good of a bunt. All around, you got to give that a hats off on it.
Yeah, Caden Grenier, and to Eddie's point, I mean, it's either a perfect bunt or it goes foul right there. It was a perfect bunt because that was an athletic move right there by Martin at third base. He was behind the bag when he made that move. Had to charge, come all the way and throw off the right foot. Do you let it go there, though, Eddie?
No, because he still had a shot. You saw how close it was. At least you get
a shot at first, yes.
This is the problem now, and we talked about it early. Get the runners on base so the big boys can come up to hit. Guess what? big boys coming up to hit, and we got to culture the bullpen. As Trevor Larnach with the bases loaded, this is not what Arkansas wants.
As they go to the mound, Larnach staying in the batter's box, and now he'll take a few steps out. Not liking what they saw from Jake Reindold. He's gone. How about it? 2 bunts in the inning. They got a 2-1 lead. They got the bases loaded and only 1 man out. Here come the Beavers. Fourth inning. Like last night, a lot of stuff happened. Adley Rutschman went yard. That tied this game up. He jumped Casey Murphy. And just like that, we are knotted at 1. Fifth inning. In all Oregon State. How about the bunts? We've had 2 of them. This one had to be fielded by Martin, who flew through to first. Nobody out. One comes in. Beavers on top. 2-1. And now Trevor Larnach and Adley Rutschman are due up. First 3 innings, they weren't good. Since, they've been great. And this is the Oregon State offense. And I get that they're not hitting all over the ballpark, but let's wait. Rutschman hit one over the wall. Larnach's coming up. We'll play game 3 if necessary tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Reindold has really struggled, guys. He wasn't great in the Super Regionals, and that was an automatic. I don't like what I saw from Wes Johnson. He's coming out.
Well, now they go to a freshman, Cole Ramage, and it's primarily been Reindold, Losky, and Cronin that have been the 3 key guys for the Arkansas bullpen. But Cole Ramage is a freshman they're pretty excited about. 47 strikeouts and 32 1/3 is an indication of stuff. The stuff is very good. He's given up some hits, but now comes in at a spot that there's not too many guys want to come into. You got bases loaded, a 1-0 count, and you are facing the heart of this Oregon State order in a first rounder in Trevor Larnach.
Let's not forget where they were successful against Larnach, and that was up and in his last at-bat.
Ramage did appear in the first game. It was against Texas. He went an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. And you wonder if this is sort of that decision of who you're going to commit to, who you want to consider saving for a game 3. You got a freshman against a junior. And a very high draft pick, Trevor Larnach. $18 home runs on the season.
Well, foul.
Got a pitch to hit, and he fouls it off a 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm Arkansas. I don't even worry about tomorrow. I try to win this thing right now. 2-1.
I do not bring Losky in, and I don't bring Cronin in unless this ball game's tied. I don't know how you can. Losky went 2 innings yesterday. Cronin went 1. Worst case scenario is you've got both of them loaded and ready tomorrow for game 3. I don't think they'll move unless this game gets tied. Isaiah Campbell, the assumed starter tomorrow. And I would think if you're Oregon State, it would have to be the freshman Kevin Abel.
There's Campbell. He was outstanding. Lights out in his start here. 8 Ks against the Gators in 5 1/3. Looked like the guy that Arkansas was dreaming he'd become that night. If it factors a game 3, see how he handles the pressure. There's another freshman who really looks very anxious right now. Abel. 1-2 to Larnach. Good pitch. And how about Ramage to get Larnach? Huge out, 2 down.
It's a changeup, and when it's right, almost looks like a split. I mean, it has really good down action right there for Ramage. And not about a freshman stepping into this situation right now, Eddie.
Throws 3 strikes. He threw a cutter first pitch, then changeup, and then he said, you know what, the changeup was good, but let's change a little bit of that language and go cambio on that one, down and away to get a big strikeout.
I mean, you come out at a 1-0 count facing a big-time hitter in Trevor Larnach, and that's a big strikeout for the freshman Cole Ramage right there. Now you got to deal with this guy, though, and it does not get any easier. 2
for 2, single and a home run for Adley Rutschman, having an enormous College World Series. Rutschman trying to do what Michael Papierski did last year, and that's go yard from both sides of the plate. Pretty good. 19 RBI, a 500 average with bases loaded.
Papierski a catcher also.
And a switch hitter. Which is how he went deep from both sides of the plate. It's amazing how that happens. Two things just go together, don't they?
Sometimes the synapses are firing, and Peterson's on right now.
0-1 to Rutschman.
Stay hot. 0-2. Boy, Ramage got a chance to get out of this without further damage.
That's good stuff from this young kid.
Adley Rutschman's nickname is Adley Clutchman. 0-2. On the ground to first, should be playable, and it is. Wow, what a job by Ramage, the freshman. Into the fire, and he puts it out. Oregon State on top. We head to the bottom of the fifth, and the top of the order is coming up.
Oregon State head coach Pat Casey here with us. Coach, obviously you want to get some more runs across there, but how about a couple of crucial bunts to take the lead?
Yeah, you know, we haven't been scoring any runs. We're trying to do anything we can to get a little bit of momentum. You know, we got the right guys out there with Rutsch and with Larnick up there at the right time. So got to give a lot of credit to Caden and Preston for getting that job done. We know we just can't keep leaving runners on base. These guys, they're too good. So, you know, hopefully we can find a way to score some more runs and keep pitching.
Your guys have had their backs against the wall for much of this tournament. What's most important in this game for the remainder of it in your mind?
Just play with character. You know, you can't always play at the level you want to play, and sometimes it gets a little tougher, but we just need to play with character.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It's going to be a battle of the bullpens, Laura. Thank you very much. And thanks to Pat Casey for joining us. Can't say enough about the performance of Cole Ramage. And the bullpen has been the story for Oregon State. Their offense has been relatively flat, but look at the numbers when you compare them with the guys who really carried them all season, the starters. Bullpen's 3-0 in 32 innings, a 1.69 ERA.
More innings, better numbers,
great.
And the left-hander today has been outstanding. Brandon Eisert has faced 6. He has struck out 5.
That'll play. Here's Eric Cole, leadoff hitter. And that pitch would almost cause a hitter to crowd the plate a little bit. It's given him the outside strike to righties. Up the middle, they played it perfectly, and Madrigal throws to first.
So how about the move from Coach Van Horn in the top half of that inning? Bases loaded, 1-0 count. You make the pitching change, you bring in the freshman, and all of a sudden he comes through. This is knowing your players, knowing the situation, and knowing exactly what pitch will work with the type of swing that you're going to face. Getting your bullpen ready for that situation, that's the reason. That's one of the main reasons why the Arkansas Razorbacks are where they are right now.
Remember, it was 3 pitches when Jake Randall was out there that Wes Johnson turned around, picked the phone up, and called down the bullpen. And he immediately, his eyes were telling him he may not have it tonight. You can't let him find it on a night like this. I mean, if it's not there, you got to go next man up. Next man up was a freshman, Cole Ramage, and he got him out of a huge jam.
Casey Martin, third baseman, grounded out too short, flew out to center. Fouls it off.
When we talk about momentum, I thought even though they lost the lead there in that top half of the 5th inning, it got the fans on their feet. It got them rolling. In between innings, these fans were doing their chant. They were doing their thing. They're up again. Sun is starting to disappear on them in the outfield.
That one, under the glove of Madrigal. He was again shaded up the middle. And Casey Martin's aboard with his first hit of the night. Just to follow up on that, why not start Ramage instead of bringing Reindl in?
Well, over the course of the season, Reindl's been better. I mean, he's been one of their key guys out of the bullpen. Ramage has been important, but he is just a freshman and hasn't been as consistent as Reindl's been. But again, and I think this is, you guys hit on it, but it's what the best head coaches, best pitching coaches do. Is you don't necessarily go based on what's happened in the last 3 months. You go based on what your eyes are telling. And the eyes right away when Jake Rondo was out there just made it look like he didn't have it tonight.
So Eisert gives up his first hit. Now he's dealing with Heston Kjerstad. See if your point carries over, Eddie, that they got momentum by getting those outs, but boy, this guy can shut momentum down real quick. Brandon Eisert. Left on left with Kjerstad. Casey Martin, great speed. 8 of 9 when it comes to stolen bases. More difficult with a lefty on the mound. See if there's something he can pick up on Eisert, which would give him a better chance to steal a base. If that's the game plan. Feels like every time Heston Kjerstad steps to the plate, he ends up being behind in the count.
With Martin's speed, he can steal second even on a move. If it takes a while for Eisert to get over to first base, and the jump is on first move, which you're going to do against a left-hander anyway, Martin's fast enough that he can still steal that back. I don't know that they're going to take a chance, but if you're gonna, this is the guy you're probably going to do it with.
Safe.
Martin, the freshman, and you can sense the impact that freshmen are having on this College World Series in this game tonight. Kjerstad 14 home runs on the season, a couple of doubles here at Omaha, and he pops this one up to third. It's dropping quick, and it's going to be a fair ball by about 2 inches, just like last night, a ball that was called foul. This one called fair, and it was the right call. Bloop single for Kjerstad, 2 on.
So, Eddie, we've talked about the power and the ability for Kjerstad to hit the ball the other way. When that happens, your outfield, the opposite distance, really has to respect it, and it's exactly what Kyle Novak was doing. He's playing a lot deeper than you're going to see a left fielder play against most left-handed hitters. Because of that, the ball that Kjerstad can't get to just flares down the left field line, is in a spot that nobody can get to it. And the Hogs have back-to-back hits here. 2 guys on, and a really good chance to score some runs.
And guess who's in the middle of it? The freshman. The freshman come in, 1 out.
Seem to be all the time.
Get 2 runners on, and now
you get a
senior at the plate.
Luke Bonfield. Ball. Bonfield 0 for 2 tonight. He has not had a good College World Series. 3 for 18. Got a pitch to hit, and he fouls it back into the seats. Luke Bonfield, the senior, 6'3", 205, out of Skillman, New Jersey. Trying to put his team ahead with 1 swing. With that speed on second base, anything to the outfield is a run, and we would be tied. This was the inning for Arkansas yesterday. 1-1 Bonfield. This one is to shallow left again. Is anybody going to get to this? No, it drops. And here comes Martin. And he is safe at home. We're tied at 2. That incredible speed and a great read by Martin, the freshman, knocks this game up.
Now, in order to win ball games, you need pitching, defense, and great base running, and you have to have a heartbeat. That's exactly what Casey Martin has here. Playing way too deep in left field. Right, hitting the triangle. Watch Martin just take a read. He keeps his feet moving. Once he sees it falls, He follows instruction. He plays hard the game. They know it. And he's running that base thinking home the entire way, not thinking about stopping at third base whatsoever. And that elite speed worked big time for him.
And because of that, the turnaround third was outstanding. It was a tight turnaround third. It was the tightest route that he could have towards home plate, and he needed it. Slides in, just beats the tag of Rutschman. He can fly when he gets it going. Opened up, saw the ball land. In that instant, Casey Martin's thinking about scoring and tying this ball game up. They haven't hit him hard this inning outside of Martin, but they've hit him in the right spot.
We talked about his speed, anything to the outfield. He had a great read on that. And how about Rutschman trying to deke him, pretending the baseball wasn't coming in, and perhaps Martin would slow down. He didn't. And just like that, perhaps the momentum that Cole Ramage gave them with his performance has led now to a tie game.
How about Nate Thompson at third base? He knows his base runners.
Yeah.
I'm talking right now. It's a 2-1 ball game. There's one out. A lot of coaches right there play it safe. Ball falls right there in the middle. It's close, but he knows who Casey Martin is as a player. Knows he's not going to give in right there at third base. Come on by. Great cut, as you said. Scores him.
Two Bermuda Triangle blue hits from Kjerstad and Bonfield. Now Fletcher, and time called. And Nate Yeskie slow walks to the mound. So let's review. Cole Ramage came in and did a terrific job getting Larnach and Rutschman. The freshman inherited a disastrous situation, and he held Oregon State to just one run after Reindl came in and gave it up. Ramage outstanding. Eddie talked about they relinquished the lead, but perhaps Arkansas got momentum, and then you turn it over here to the fifth inning. You get one out, and you get a single from Casey Martin and a blooper from Kjerstad, and another seeing eye single from Bonfield that dropped in between Novak, Jones, Larnach, and Grenier.
Yeah, and I think Nate Yeskie out. It's an empty bullpen. I mean, this is Isert's ball game. That is absolutely a fact. And I think this is one just to say, hey, man, let's see this for what it was. It's a flare to left. It's a flare into short left center. Let's not change anything right here. The approach is fine. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Here's Dominic Fletcher. He has struck out twice. He's had a terrific College World Series, batting over .450. First pitch has been his go-to pitch. On the first pitch, the slider in there for a strike. Kjerstad, good athlete. Doesn't have Martin speed, but good athlete at second base. Bonfield at first. Wild swing, and he's 0-2. Three hits and a run, and boy, can a scorebook be deceiving without pictures?
Yep. Martin put a good swing on it. Two bloop singles. One ends up scoring Casey Martin from second base, and that was an uncomfortable 0-1 swing right there from Dominic Fletcher. I would think he'd go right back to the slot.
Oh, but you're right, he should. When I'm testing Kjerstad at second base, anything in the dirt right here, I get a good secondary. It's a good, could kick away, especially this pitch right here, 1-2. Away from that slider twice.
Now you think ahead, Kyle. You get Ramage, the freshman. He was great. He's a freshman. You got Lowski out there. You got Cronin. The game's tied.
I think now they absolutely come into play. If you're down, I just don't think they do. I don't think you can roll the dice that much. But if it's a tie ball game late, you got your two guys down there that give you the best chance to keep it all knotted out, then give your offense a chance to win it.
1-2 to Fletcher. Nope, 2-2. College baseball celebrated perhaps their most exciting super regionals ever. Here at the College World Series, we've had a lead change in 9 of this year's 15 games. We had that 3 times last year. Good balance, good parity, good games. Fletcher beats it on the ground. Madrigal will go to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Off third, throw behind, doesn't get Kristad. But a nice try by Caden Grenier. Now, runner 90 feet away. Got to be careful of a wild pitch or pass ball, which we've seen in this game already. Led to one of the runs for Arkansas. Look who's heading out to the bullpen for Oregon State. Their starter, Kevin Abel. All hands on deck in this must-win game for Oregon State. Fitting, perhaps, the Arkansas kid, the hero in the Super Regional. Carson Shaddy steps into the spotlight. Good pitch. Fastball 91 underneath those hands. And now Brandon Eisert ahead 0-2.
Got to be aware now with 2 strikes, running to first and third. This is usually where teams can come up with a play. We saw it in the Super Regionals with the Florida Gators. First, third play where they were able to steal a run by stealing home. Left-handed pitcher on the mound.
Eisert has struck out 5. And Carson Shaddy delivers the go-ahead run. Kristad touches home, and they have first and third. And the Arkansas kid who dreamed of being a Razorback since he was 4 sends the crowd into a frenzy.
Talk about you need seniors to be able to come up big in big moments. We saw Luke Baumfield already drive in 1, and now Carson Shaddy does the same thing on an 0-2 pitch, slider down. Doesn't try to do so much with it. My man's pumped up.
How about it? A former walk-on who's bounced around different positions. Grew up rooting for the Backs. His dad played for them, and he now has given his team a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th. Jared Gates. Good block by Rutschman.
Tell me that move by Dave Van Horn now. How big was that in the top half of the 5th inning? We talk about momentum. These players fed off it.
Yep. Yeah, and you said it at the time. I mean, the crowd reacted. You got Arkansas's crowd back into it, which makes a big difference in this place tonight. You can hear it on TV, and if you were here, you can really see it with your eyes. There is a ton of red in this ballpark, and they are back into it.
Gates center field. Back goes Jones. Still going back. Now slowing down. And he makes the play. Jared Gates gave it a ride. But just like last night, 5th inning, huge for the Hogs. They pick up 3 thanks to the speed of Casey Martin and the clutch hitting of Carson Shaddy. They're going nuts at Baum Stadium. They're doing the same at Baum Stadium North, which is also known as TD Ameritrade. Back at the College World Series, they're trying to hold that trophy for good. Who will win it, we'll find out. Game 2 continues as we head to the 6th. Before that, take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update. Teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One. Winning team of the CWS will get 60 points from their school. Arkansas men currently have 6. With a win, they would end up in second place with 66. Really, Stanford? Wow.
Yep.
That's all they do out there, huh? Sports? Just sports.
That is all.
Well, we got ourselves a good one with Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson, Lower Rutledge, Carl Ravitch. 6th inning now. Cole Ramage, who came on and somehow got Trevor Larnach and Adley Rutschman to end the 5th inning. Deals with Michael Gretler, Tyler Malone, and Kyle Novak here in the 6th. On the ground to third, fielded cleanly by Martin. Long and strong and off the mark. That's an error and no advancement. Gretler thought about it, wisely stays on first, and a mistake by Casey Martin.
He did everything right, too. Took a step back to field that baseball, kept his feet moving. Only thing was, I mean, you look at it, the footwork was perfect, shuffled, just sailed on him a bit. Got a little bit under it with the elbow, but besides that, all there.
So the hero, with his speed in the last half, now commits a error and gives Oregon State and a base runner. Tyler Malone, the designated hitter, struck out, flew out to center. First error of the game for Arkansas. They've been very solid in the field since the NCAA tournament began. Ramage, that one hit hard, and that was in the right center field gap. Gretler will go to third. And the throw comes in, the error now at third base, and a hard hit ball by Tyler Malone. How long do you leave Cole Ramage in the game?
Baranlowski has just started to throw in that Arkansas bullpen. It looked like a cut already that kind of came right back in towards the barrel of Tyler Malone, who has barreled plenty of them up in this College World Series. We talked Lowski, and when do you use him? That time may be coming up. Fastball, center cut, coming right back in towards Tyler Malone. So after the error by Casey Martin, Malone smokes one to right center, and the Beavers, first and third, nobody out here in the 6th.
Right back in business. They're going to have a pinch hitter. Jack Anderson has stepped into the batter's box. Anderson will hit in the place of Novak.
Let's not forget here, when runners are in scoring position, what is the pitch he goes to? The changeup. Jack Anderson hasn't seen a pitch yet, but he knows he has to execute with that changeup.
He's been used to sacrifice a lot. He's got 6 sacrifice hits. We've already seen a bunt lead to a run. Anderson looks at a first pitch strike. So an error to start the inning from Casey Martin. That runner has advanced to third on a single by Malone. And now Anderson behind 0-1. Lays down a bunt. Popped up. Caught. Throw to third. Double play. What a huge play. They try to do the bunt again, and off the mound came the freshman Ramage. He threw to third, and Martin slapped a tag on Gretler.
So the freshman comes in last inning, bases loaded, 1-0 count, gets 2 guys out and strands him, and now makes a big-time defensive play. And the presence of mind immediately to look to third base and know that that was the base runner that was probably off and moving the first. Ramage spins, throws, good enough for Martin to catch it, lay the tag down for the double play.
Well, they succeeded with the bunt, the suicide squeeze earlier in the game. They haven't really hit the ball very well, and they try to go to the well one more time. And Anderson, who had those 6 sacrifice hits, got under it too much, and a good play by Ramage. So wow, how the inning has changed. First and third, nobody out. Now man on first, 2 down. And a strike 1 from Ramage. Zach Taylor singled, scored a run in the 5th inning. He also popped out to left in the 2nd. This one, another chance, and across the diamond, better throw that time from Casey Martin. Holy cow, did that change quick. First and third, nobody out. Double play. Cole Ramage threw 7 pitches in the inning.
What a game changer right there. The bat head drops just a little bit. Ball gets elevated, and the presence of mind by Ramage to be able to throw it to third base gets him out. Another inning changer.
Welcome back to the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. A lot of action from the top of the 4th as we head to the bottom of the 6th. How things have changed. Arkansas led at 1-zip after 2. Adley Rutschman a home run in the 4th inning and now 3 runs in the 5th. That butt attempt by Jack Anderson. Safety squeeze backfired terribly, led to a double play. And he has moved to left field. 8-9-1. Grant Cook against Brandon Isert. Boy, that's a called strike all night long.
You see the look right there?
Wait, what?
You don't have to say anything. No words
That's
needed.
Like, he's a catcher. He's like, I can't say anything right here. I need that call later.
Well, the home plate ump, to say this, he's been very consistent with that. Kevin Abel has begun to throw in the Oregon State bullpen. This one got more of the plate. He popped it up. Should be playable. Rutschman's over there. So is Taylor, and he makes the play.
All right, so let's go back to this bunt by Jack Anderson. And it's not what the ball goes straight up in the air. That's one thing, but it's a safety. And Michael Gretler's a runner on third base, and Eddie, you cannot get doubled up on a safety. You cannot get. I mean, on a safety squeeze, you are reading the ball down, and if the ball doesn't go down, you're not going anywhere. And ultimately, clearly, the bunt wasn't great,
and
but you can't get doubled up on a safety.
And both of them made the mistake. Both runners. And again, this is what Coach Casey does. He even told Laura before, he said, we have not been executing with runners in scoring position, have to force the issue a little bit. He tried it again, tried his luck this time with no outs, runners at first and third. As a runner, you read that, you freeze.
Yes.
And if you don't score, so be it. You go back to third base, you have runners at first and third, 1 out.
I have no problem with the call. I mean, ultimately, you're trying to tie the ball game up, and that's what Oregon State's done the entire year. Plus, you're putting a pinch hitter in there that's done that plenty of times. Clearly, the bunt wasn't good. We talked about the barrel going down at the last minute, but you can't get doubled off with nobody out. You can't get doubled off on a safety squeeze.
Jax Biggers bats. He's the number 9 hole hitter. Reached on a walk, struck out.
You know, one thing I've noticed is Coach Casey definitely manages his team differently when you look at the top and bottom half of the lineup. Plays small ball big time with a bat.
Casey is screaming out at the home plate umpire. He is screaming out at him on that check swing.
And this is the whole week kind of coming into one frame right there. For Pat Casey, honestly, for Oregon State, if there's been any close call, it's gone the other way. And there's not intent. I'm not saying that there's any intent in it. That's a swing.
That's a swing.
And that's Pat Casey's got a good look at it. That's why he was so vocal right there. But you know that the frustration just continues to build. Clearly it's an elimination game, but I think the feel is, man, just one of them has to go our way.
Scales have definitely tipped in favor of Arkansas when it comes to the close calls. This one to left field, coming in and now going back is Anderson. There are 2 down. Isert came on to this game in the 3rd inning. He struck out 5 of the first 6 he faced. He hasn't struck out a batter since then, and he has faced 10. Back to the top of the order, Eric Cole. So again, those 5 Ks came against the first 6 guys he faced. That's a strike all night long.
Ball.
They played for a World Series title in '79, didn't get it. Arkansas knocks on the door one more time. Oregon State back-to-back in '06 and '07. That's down. It's 2-1. Arkansas has been perfect in Omaha. They have not lost a game. They're 4-0. They haven't played a lot. When you think about it, they played 4 games in about the last 2.5 weeks. Good pitch, 92. Upped his velocity a little bit. Pat Casey in the 7th inning, the 9-hole hitter, and then back to the very dangerous top of the order. Another 25,000 on hand, over 1 million watching tonight to see if Oregon State can force a Game 3 or Arkansas can get their first College World Series title. Another 3-2 on the way to Eric Cole. Yeah! Called strike 3, and that one missed the plate by a considerable amount. It's been a strike all night. Cole doesn't agree. Heading to the 7th. 9-1-2 coming up. Everyone, College World Series in Omaha. How about Cole Ramage? Came into a desperate situation. He got Trevor Larnach, who hasn't really been out this College World Series, and Rutschman, who homered earlier, to ground out innocently, gets out of a jam. Then in the 6th inning, 1st and 3rd, Ramage fields this and shows his athleticism. He doesn't go down. He fires to 3rd. Casey Martin. They double off the runner, and as he says, let's go. Well, he's gone. And he was outstanding. Tonight's game track brought to you by Buick. Looks like this. Rutschman 2 for 3, solo homer. They extend this inning. He'll come up again. Bonfield and Mr. Shaddy, RBI singles in the 5th. For Carson Shaddy, his go-ahead RBI. How about this, guys? That was the first 2-strike hit for Arkansas in the College World Series finals. They were 0 for 31. And Shaddy from
at the right time,
Fayetteville, Arkansas, delivers.
0-2 slider down and in, and before that ball was even into the outfield, Shaddy's right arm was extended. He knew he got it. So now Barilowski, who with 2 innings last night, we talked about the back end of this bullpen. When do you use them? How do you use them? Now they have the lead, so they go to Lowski. 67 strikeouts, 52 and a third. A lot of fastballs from Lowski, especially up in the zone. But now back-to-back nights, Oregon State has seen him. Let's see if they make any kind of an adjustment. The closer Matt Cronin up and moving around a little bit in that Arkansas bullpen.
Preston Jones, he was the guy that had that bunt single in the 5th inning, the inning in which Oregon State scored a run. Look out.
Dead ball, dead ball.
Foul ball off his foot, and the bat went flying. Let's see if this ball hits his foot. The Arkansas bench says no.
I didn't see that off his foot, Eddie.
Me neither.
I saw the bat go flying, and it was, I mean, it's a visual that you don't see much, but it didn't look like it was off his foot.
No. Wow.
Hit the inside part of his leg?
Yeah. Not his foot.
That's why we're looking at a different spot. Tell you what, that's one tough dude. If you don't hop around after fouling one off the, I mean, that was off his shin if it hit him.
Really got to slow that down to see it, because clearly it's way out over his foot. Watch his pant leg. Oh yeah,
it's off his shin.
Wow.
He didn't even move.
You guys sure about that? I don't think so.
Side angle, it looked like it.
That's in there for a strike. 93 from Lowski.
I don't think I've ever
hit you in
seen.
the shin?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever seen a guy foul a ball off his shin and not move.
Glancing blow. Not a full shin burger, just like a little fillet. Wanted him to chase. Lowski made a living up there last night. And Preston Jones laid off. They got to get 9 outs to win the title. They're going to have to deal with Madrigal, Larnach, and Rutschman at least one more time. Strike 3. Barrett Lowski's first hitter results in a strikeout. Sunday night baseball, big one for us. Taco Bell in Beantown. The Red Sox and Yankees. Look forward to being at Yankee Stadium. The first place Yankees, second place Red Sox, the two best records in Major League Baseball heading into the weekend. We'll start it off with baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown. Then at 8, Yankees, Red Sox, Sunday night baseball.
A couple guys that were sitting up here a few years ago.
I know.
Alex Cora, Aaron Boone. A little different view right now for both of them.
It's been a good view for both, too.
I would say so.
Really good view. Madrigal goes back. Got a little issue with the bat.
Well, it's the same bat that Preston Jones was using. They just, soon after the strikeout, he gave Madrigal the bat. Looked like the handle was a little moist. Put a little rosin on it.
One out. Good matchup here. Lowski and Madrigal. First pitch, ball 1 away. Lowski's numbers here at Omaha in 4 appearances, 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Changeup, and that's to center field. Good pitch by Barrett Lowski, and you can just see the result of the changeup as Madrigal flies out. Third time he's flown out to center field.
I think that caught you off guard a little bit because yesterday we saw the effect of that curveball had more of a 12-6 type drop. 79 miles per hour. Stayed up. Curveball stayed up and it looked like that changeup off the screen.
Key here, though, 2 quick outs for Lowski, who's coming off a night last night where he got 6 outs. You want that pitch count to be efficient right now if you're Dave Van Horn. It has been efficient so far, but this order just keeps on coming at you.
Grenier before Larnach and Rutschman. 2 down. Grenier singled his last time up. Fastball at 94 right on the corner for a strike. Grenier, the junior out of Henderson, Nevada. Ball. For the most part, it does look like Lowski will hit the glove wherever the glove is.
Yeah, I didn't miss too many spots.
We got company.
Uh-oh. Now we're on the move.
Rough guy to have sitting in front of you. Love to get Grenier aboard with Larnach. Grenier's got really good speed. And again, 7, 8, 9 have been the innings for Oregon State. They've outscored their opponents by 21 runs after the 6th. Guy Cole Ramage played a big part so far in this game. Back up the middle, clutch job. Caden Grenier's aboard with 2 down, and you have to deal with Trevor Larnach now. Really good piece of hitting by Grenier. He's got 2 hits tonight.
Watch the hands work right here. Pitch on the inside part of the plate. He brings them in. Then stays up the middle. Talk about working those hands. And the balance that Grenier has, 37th pick overall in this year's draft.
That was big time because it's exactly where Lowski wanted to throw it. Grenier just got his hands inside, got the barrel to it, shoots it out to center. Matt Cronin with a baseball in his hand, but not yet.
Not yet. So far, Dave Van Horn and also Wes Johnson, both of them have managed their bullpen beautifully tonight. High leverage situation. Who do you want? You want your core guys. Lowski face the top of the order. Cronin waiting in the wings.
These two battled last night, and Lowski struck Larnach out. Best home run hitter on the team with 18 this season. First pitch fastball down, 1-0. Larnach and the guy on deck are putting together one of the great College World Series by teammates in the history of the College World Series. Knees, strike one.
Colin Kerstad in the outfield playing deep. Fletcher, we've already seen him in center field go back beautifully on the baseball to start off the game twice back-to-back. Playing a couple steps back from where he usually plays. No double situation, tying run at first.
Good pitch, 93 and away. 1-2 to Trevor Larnach. He has struck out twice tonight, singled in the first, and the crowd gets into it. Hard hit, shortstop, good hop, steps on second as Jax Biggers. Larnach hit it hard. Biggers got a good bounce. And they get through the top half of the seventh.
Did you think you'd get in the World Series at the beginning of the season?
I always work hard enough to try to get here.
That's awesome, yeah.
Timeout, first base! I know what he did, but the ball's so far inside. I'll go get help. Yep. Ball's foul! Ball's foul off his foot! Ball's foul off his foot in the box. He didn't limp or do anything. I had it right away, Dave.
Great. He didn't look hurt. We certainly appreciate all College World Series long the umpires who have put the microphones on and really given the viewer at home a great look at what the interactions are between umpire, player, umpire, and coach. Jeff Hendricks tonight. We begin the bottom of the seventh. Eisert continues to throw against a bunch of arms down in that Oregon State bullpen right now. And Casey Martin, Heston Kjerstad, Luke Bonfield.
Casey Martin has shown you signs tonight in a lot of different ways why he's a top 5 overall type guy in 2 years. I mean, the speed we've seen, the power we've seen throughout the course of the year, not necessarily tonight. A big-time athletic move at third base, and I know he didn't get it out on that bunt that he charged him to throw to first base, but I don't know if there's anybody else in the stadium that can make the play that he did right there. He can do so many different things.
And when Dave Van Horn and his staff discovered Casey Martin, watched him play, they said, yeah, he's probably not going to come here. He'll eventually sign. Like, that's not going to happen. He's got that much skill and talent. And he said, no, I'm coming.
Lone Oak, Arkansas.
Oof. He didn't want to swing. You could see his face once he committed. Now 2-2.
Does he end up at third base next year? Or do they
no, I think he ends up in the middle, potentially. they think he has the moves and the skill to be there. I mean, you take all of those things, and he ends up with the ability to play shortstop. I mean, now you have something that you just don't find.
2-2. Right center field, drifting over is Larnach, and he's there to make the play. One down. 9 o'clock here Central Time, 10:02 Eastern Time. You'll be able to watch the Cubs and Dodgers, which it's now 7:02 out there. They'll be playing tonight, and it will start on ESPN2. So about 8 minutes from now, first pitch, Cubs and Dodgers. And again, when we complete our coverage of this College World Series Game 2, they will move over to ESPN. Jake Mulholland, the lefty, continues to throw and throw hard in that Oregon State bullpen. Heston Kjerstad reached on an error. Then he walked, then he singled, and it was that bloop single down the line and left. Back-to-back bloop singles after Martin had singled that led to the runs that they scored in the 5th inning. Those 2 runs. Couldn't have placed them any better if you were Arkansas, and a nightmare for Oregon State.
You couldn't have, but if anybody other than Casey Martin is standing on second base,
true,
they don't score.
Right. Oftentimes you keep score and you circle big plays, critical plays, key plays. There have been a whole bunch of key moments in this game.
Yes.
Pitching decisions, bloop hits, hit batters, bunts, suicide squeezes. Freshman stepping up like that guy, Cole Ramage. Brandon Eisert's been really, really good. This is a slow roller. Madrigal backhand fires. Got him. Kjerstad retired. Really good play by a charging Nick Madrigal.
Talk about cutting in front. Watch Madrigal right here. He takes a step to his left, and the ball's hit to his right. Backhands it. Takes an extra step on the transfer, but has a strong enough arm to get it done. Right here, takes that extra step. Makes a nice throw over to first base for Taylor. It's a nice pick at it.
No instant replay or review here in the College World Series on plays at the bases. Might change when the committee gets a chance to meet in July. See if we expand it for next season. But people at home who are wondering, should we review that? There is no review on plays at the bases.
Oh, yeah, crossed up right there.
Sure did.
He was looking change up, got the slider, it looked like.
So if you're Arkansas, you bring Lowski back out for the 8th inning?
Yes. But now if there's traffic, I think you'll see Cronin out.
There's Barrett Lowski. The first guy he'll face will be Adley Rutschman, already with a home run tonight. 1-0 to Bonfield. That's a good pitch. 1-1. Can't say enough about the Oregon State bullpen this entire College World Series, how great they have been. Their starters have not given them length at all. This guy on the mound in particular has been phenomenal. Looking for strikeout number 7. Oh. That's been a strike most of the night from Jeff Hendricks.
Yeah, pitches way away, but Luke Bonfield ended up striking out on a pitch that was this much out in a 2-1 pitch that was called right there. This time not called. He's happy about that.
We're not getting a lot of grunts and groans from Jeff Hendricks tonight. Last night, Travis Katzenmeyer behind home, the umpire was feeling pain when there was really no pain, but he was anticipating it. We don't have that tonight.
Great instincts.
2-2 to Bonfield. Popped out of play. Arkansas got 1 run in the second. Oregon State answered with a run in the fourth, a run in the fifth, and then Arkansas, bottom 5, comes up with 2. And that's how we get to 3-2. Bottom 7's been a battle of the bullpens for a while now. Eisert came on in the 3rd inning. Here we are in the bottom of the 7th with 2 down. Rutschman looking for it. Now he sees it's no chance to be caught. We have an interesting time of night here in Omaha. The sky, difficult to pick a ball up. There's sort of a white layer that Rutschman perhaps lost it in. On TV, it's looking beautiful and blue, but there is a layer there that makes it a bit challenging for fielders to pick up a fly ball.
Luna llena, full moon.
That's hit into the corner. Bonfield jumped him, and he will take 2. Anderson throws it back in, and a 2-out hit with 2 strikes from Luke. Bonfield, his second hit of the night. He came in 3 for 16. He adds a couple of hits tonight.
Fastball in her half, and the senior Luke Bonfield just puts a good swing on it. Hands in, barrel to it, hooks down the left field line, and when Jack Anderson can't get to it and cut it off, Bonfield's going to end up on second base easily. It's a stand-up 2-out double for Luke Bonfield. That will end his night. He'll be pinch run 4 here. But in what could potentially be the final game for Luke Bonfield, this is senior year. That's a pretty good way to walk it off right there.
Jack Henley comes in, pinch runner. Rutschman went out to talk to Eisert. You wonder if the Oregon State coaches are going to make a change. Bonfield now waits to find out if they will be hoisting a trophy or he'll be playing again tomorrow night in a game 3. Second man that Eisert faced when he came on was Fletcher. He struck him out, and he got him to hit into a fielder's choice. So even though he came on in relief, this is the 3rd time that Fletcher and Eisert face off.
About the last 3 at-bats for the seniors. I'm talking to Luke Bonfield. The hit and then now the double. Carson Shaddy, you got the base hit, a big one at that to drive in the go-ahead. And then you have Jared Gates that hit a shot to center field also for his last one that was caught. Bearing down, knowing that this could be their last game as a Razorback.
Play.
Two home runs here in Omaha, and Fletcher was hitless in the Super Regional. Turned it on here, and now he's looking to add some insurance. Time called.
Here we go. Play. Inside.
Wonder if this would be the last guy that he gets a chance to face if he puts him on. Kevin Shaddy singled with that RBI against him. And they certainly have guys who are hot in the bullpen. 1-1. 1-2.
Have been able, the freshman who we assumed would be the Game 3 starter for Oregon State if they could win this one. If you're looking at a scouting report, you're looking at it because you're potentially coming in the ball game here pretty quick.
Mulholland lefty warm as well. 1-2.
No.
Did not go. 2-2. If it is Abel who comes in, where does Oregon State go to start Game 3?
Doesn't matter. Win this one, you figure that one out tomorrow.
I get that part, but I'm asking you guys.
Well, the other one that I thought potentially could start, who hasn't, is Jake Mulholland. He's standing right next to him.
Piece it together.
Wow. Iser gets Fletcher, and he picks up another strikeout. His 7th of the night. Adley Rutschman, the home run hitter, comes up. He can tie it with a swing.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
We've talked a lot about the success of Arkansas's freshmen here, specifically Casey Martin, but he gives all the credit to Carson Shaddy, who's a senior leader on this team. Shaddy calls Martin his son, and Martin calls Shaddy his dad. Gives a whole new meaning to who's your Shaddy. Earlier today, Martin went up to Carson Shaddy and said, hey, I don't know if it's going to be our last game together, but if it is, I just want to thank you for taking an interest in me. He gave him a big hug and said, it's thanks to you that I've gotten to this point. Now, Carson Shaddy has said about Martin that he's thankful to Martin for giving him the opportunity to teach him and to guide him along this season. He said it will be the most memorable part of this year for him, unless, of course, they could win a national championship together.
Great story, Laura. Thank you. That type of mentor relationship between those guys, they'll have that the rest of their lives.
And
Really
credit
good.
Carson Shaddy, too, because, I mean, this is a kid coming back his senior year, and it would be natural to focus a little bit more on your last run, and instead he's focusing more on others.
Ball two. All right, Adley Rutschman leads things off. Arkansas is 6 outs away from winning a College World Series title. Oregon State trying to prevent that. Rutschman went yard in the 4th inning. His 9th home run of the season. He picked up his 11th RBI of this College World Series. Earlier in the 4th, he did it from the right side. And it was a no-doubter.
And he's already shown power to the opposite field earlier on in this College World Series.
13 for 24.
3 out of the 4 pitches for Lowski this inning have been up.
Matt Cronin, the closer, up and throwing.
While other guys in the lineup have shown the ability, Malone, 3 homers, Novak, who's now been replaced, Anderson on for him. This is the guy you've got to be most careful with. At a 3-1 pitch, he grooves it and he fouls it out of play.
2-0 fastball, 3-1 fastball. Lowski came after him both times, and Rutschman couldn't go get him. That's what that fastball that has that rising action, it's not rising action, but that Holt's playing so well will do. Gets off the barrel. Both times Rutschman catching the bottom part of the baseball, now 3-2.
Crowd senses the import of this at bat. Challenged him, and Rutschman. Adley Clutchman delivers another hit. Single up the middle. 14 for 25 at the College World Series. He's a sophomore. He'll be back again next year for Oregon State. How good is that guy?
That's 99 hits on the season right now for Adley Clutchman. On base percentage over 500. Batting average over 400.
A year after he hit 243.
Right. So the leadoff man is aboard. 14 hits, 25 at bats, 11 RBIs. A little different for Adley Rutschman this time around.
All they're trying to do is give them an opportunity to get to Madrigal in the 9th inning if possible.
Gretler already squared. Pitcher Mlowski rides high. We've seen the bunt work for Oregon State. We have seen it fail miserably for Oregon State tonight. Suicide squeeze to run in, and then on a safety squeeze, they popped into a double play. Gretler gets it down, and Mlowski will go to first for the out. So the base runner, Rutschman, advances to second now with one down. Don't forget Sunday night baseball. It'll be in the Bronx. The Red Sox and the Yankees, 8 o'clock Eastern time. The two best teams in the American League, along with the Houston Astros. Coverage will start 7 o'clock. We'll be there with baseball tonight's Sunday night countdown, and then the game at 8. Well, this may be it. This is the time where Dave Van Horn is going out. He's going to congratulate Mlowski. He's going to go to Cronin, and he's going to try to win a College World Series title. Do or die time now for the closer as he comes in with a tying run on second, top of the 8th of the College World Series. Summary: Oregon State and Arkansas, two of the top 5 teams in the country, national seeds that have made it to the College World Series finals. We got a 1-1 ball game. They bring the closer in to get 5 outs. The tying run for Oregon State's on second base. You're taking a look at the lefty, Matt Cronin, who relieved Mlowski last night in the 9th inning. He struck out Malone, he struck out Gretler, and he got Armstrong to line to short. He's got to face Malone. He's going to face Anderson, barring a pinch hitter tonight.
It's a pretty elite combination. Fastball into the mid-90s and doesn't walk many guys. 58 strikeouts, 13 walks for Matt Cronin over the course of the year. He'll come in to face Tyler Malone. Oregon State has 6 home runs in this College World Series. 7 now with the one that Rutschman hit tonight. Tyler Malone has 3 of them. It's real power, and now power on power right here.
Adley Rutschman tying run at second base after a leadoff single. Sacrificed to second. And here's Cronin's first one to Malone. Fastball at 94, strike 1. Matt Cronin picked up his 14th save last night to set a school record.
Look at those numbers on the right-hand side of the screen. Tyler Malone struggled against left-handed pitching, and this one's no easy task.
Beginning of the season, both of these teams were near the top of everybody's list to contend for a College World Series title. Pat Casey's got a juggernaut in the Pacific Northwest, and in that gauntlet that is the SEC, Dave Van Horn. And his Razorbacks last team standing, 0-2 on the way to Tyler Malone. Won't chase. Oregon State has brought Stephen Kwan into the on-deck circle. Their everyday center fielder and leadoff hitter who's dealing with hamstring issues may have a chance here. Ball. That one gets by, and down to third base goes Rutschman with one out. Grant Cook could conceivably have been called a strike. Wasn't going to be, but he just dropped it.
He was trying to steal a strike there. Keep that mid up.
Now a sacrifice fly will tie this game up. Cronin, the 6'2", 197-pound sophomore.
Eddie, what do you got in the infield in here?
Infield comes in, which is actually very strange. You're the home team.
Yes, you're ahead.
You got the go-ahead run at the plate. To me, this is a big-time gamble.
2-2, 3-2.
One of the reasons you have to be aware, not only this is a fly ball pitcher, pitches up in the zone with the fastball. It's a lot of jam shots also.
Yep.
Any blue contact, it will fall in the short outfield there.
This one surprises me. It surprises me for Dave Van Horn to bring the entire infield in right here, because I'm with you. I think there's a better chance that you get a bloop over the infielder's head than you do a hard ground ball here. And if it is a hard ground ball, it's got to be right at somebody.
3-2. It's going to get to the seats.
There's a higher probability that that bloop shot will be to the left side of the field also.
High drama for Cronin on the mound. Rutschman down there at third base is the tying run. And Tyler Malone, the sophomore, out of Rossville, Georgia. He got a single his last time up. Single now would tie it. 3-2, foul.
That's the best swing Malone's had right there. Little bit early on that Cronin fastball on the inside part of the plate.
You look at it yesterday, they were 0 for 21 with runners in scoring position. Today, a solo shot drove in one, and the other one was a bases loaded squeeze play.
Good battle. Cronin and Malone, the designated hitter. He's seeing it pretty good, boys.
He is, I agree. And he's seen one pitch. All fastballs.
Yep. Pat Casey whispers to the on-deck hitter, Stephen Kwan. Would it shock you if Kwan were to lay a bunt down with Rutschman there? I know he's got bad hamstrings. If we get to that situation.
Yeah, but I would tell you, I think Casey Martin's going to be guarding against it at third base. So, yes, it would.
3-2. Got him swinging. Fastball at 94. And Cronin wins that battle.
Stayed with it, which is what Matt Cronin does. Pretty straightforward when he comes in. It is going to be fastball heavy, and it is a really good one. Great at bat right there from Tyler Malone. He fought off some tough ones, but the fastball away, he swung right through for the second out of the inning.
Consider walking Kwan here intentionally?
No, I don't. And one of the biggest reasons I would not do it is you're left on left. He just comes in right now from the bench. And to me, all you're doing is giving another at-bat to Nick Madrigal, to Caden Grenier, and then you would have Trevor Larnach in the hole in the top half of that ninth inning. There's no way I would pitch around this kid at the plate. You have the go-ahead run if you walk him and you put him on. No chance.
Stephen Kwan has been the leadoff hitter when healthy and the center fielder every day. June 18th against Washington here, you can see he hit the ball and his hamstring, his left hamstring, grabbed on him. He has been used sparingly the rest of the way. Did play last night, didn't look very comfortable running, chasing balls down in the outfield. When we arrived at the ballpark, he was in the leadoff spot in the lineup that was given to us about an hour before the game. Then they revised it, moved him to the 9 spot. Then they revised it again and took him out of the lineup completely because he said he couldn't go. So here's your Willis Reed moment. Your off the bench Kirk Gibson injured moment for Stephen Kwan. Tries to tie this College World Series game up. Job by Cook with Rutschman down there at third, hoping that ball was going to squeak by him.
I'm a little bit surprised Shaddy's not shaded more up the middle and Gates doesn't have more depth at first base, because you know that Kwan's not 100%. And it just feels like his approach right here is going to be to try to take the ball the other way, especially against a guy in Cronin that's left on left.
Ball. Just below the knees, 2-1.
Outfield on the opposite side is playing shallow. Fletcher pacing in center field. He has not stopped walking for the last 6 pitches.
Through the season, Stephen Kwan started 63 of 65 games. He's got 41 RBI out of the leadoff spot. That one's out of play. Now 2-2.
Nice play, kiddo.
Very calm given the circumstances. Very comfortable in this situation is Kwan. Kwan left center field, and it is caught. Heston Kjerstad waited for it. Dominic Fletcher was over there just to back him up. And Arkansas finds themselves 3 outs away from a hog pile here at TD Ameritrade. Matt Cronin gets the job done. Among the big moments of this game, 5th inning with 2 strikes. Carson Shaddy delivers a big single. The Fayetteville, Arkansas native and RBI. He went crazy at first base. Been a dream of his since he was 4 years old to play for the Razorbacks. A former walk-on, now 2 for 3 in the second game of this College World Series, best 2 out of 3. Joe Casey has gone in to play left field for Pat Casey. And the new pitcher is the freshman Kevin Abel. Crowd here at TD Ameritrade enjoying Neil Diamond. And right now, the majority of the folks rooting for Arkansas up on their feet and celebrating, hoping This will lead to a College World Series title. Quan put it in play, but it was caught. And now we'll start with Shaddy.
Well, we thought this is a guy that would start game 3 for Oregon State if ultimately they would get to that point. But as we talked about earlier, you got to get to that point first. And you worry about tomorrow. If tomorrow gets here, Kevin Abel, they feel, is their best chance to hold this Arkansas lineup where it's at, see if Oregon State can tie it up in the ninth.
You watch Abel pitch. He's a freshman, but you've seen the breaking ball. You've just seen the fastball at 90. Everything about Kevin Abel says pitcher. The way he looks, the way he handles himself, and the repertoire that he brings to a stage like this as a freshman. Well, that's filthy.
Eddie, we had talked about this when we saw Abel the first time. That curveball is so good that sometimes it's hard for umpires to call it. You just don't see too many like this.
2-1 to Shaddy.
Changeup.
That was a changeup. So we've seen 3 what looked like plus pitches.
Yes. And the velocity is only going to continue to grow. This is the next one for Oregon State.
Maybe the next one for college baseball. Shaddy's big RBI came with 2 strikes. Oh, see you later. Nasty curveball from Kevin Abel.
It's a good one, guys. Threw a few of them at him, and he still froze him on it. As a hitter, you know you have to respect that fastball. That curveball right there, just 12-6. Nasty.
It's understandable to give up on that one. You don't see too many like that one.
You do from that lefty that pitches for the Dodgers, but he's the lefty who pitches for the Dodgers.
That one guy.
And that's the type of movement it has on it. That Kershaw guy. All right, so Jared Gates followed by Grant Cook. As a hitter, Eddie, assuming we're going to see this guy for a while, what is your approach?
First you pray that he hangs one.
Right.
And then you keep looking fastball, and you have to adjust and look up. It's as simple as that because it's so difficult to hit that stuff at the plate.
That had a little cut on it.
The arm action is really good, tough to pick up. This possibly could be Jared Gates' last at bat as a Razorback if the score holds, and you have to face a freshman that's got 3+ pitches.
10th strikeout for Arkansas tonight. Abel picks up 2 quickies. SportsCenter follows Cubs and the Dodgers. Stan and Neil will have the update. The Angels and Red Sox. Red Sox led that game 6-zip. Angels tied it at 6. LeBron's 15th NBA season. And late Andy Irons, a World Surf League rival of Kelly Slater's. They'll have much more on that story the rest of the day in sports. Recap of this College World Series. SportsCenter from LA follows baseball, Major League on ESPN. Well, eight, 9, and 1. Nick Madrigal due up for Oregon State in the 9th inning. Ball 2. Wow, that's a close one. Change up at 82, just misses. Paints with a fastball at 91, 2-1.
Ball.
Again, a little cut on that fastball.
Yeah.
And now it's 3-2. Kevin Abel looking to come on here in the 8th. Strikeout Shaddy, strikeout Gates, and now he tries to finish off Cook. And he does. Wow, was that impressive. Changeup at 83. Abel, very able. He was outstanding. Taylor, Jones, and Nick Madrigal. Last chance for the Beavers to stay alive in 18. Last time the Razorbacks had a chance to win a College World Series title was 1979. Amongst the greats, that guy right there, Kevin McReynolds, was on that team. Of course, the field was different. The uniforms were very different as well. They had the support, but boy, have they turned out in droves tonight. Take a look at the Arkansas NCAA National Championships. 20 of them in men's indoor track, cross country, outdoor track, men's basketball back in 1994. They won it all, of course. Never in baseball, though. And now with the hog hats on, young and old are looking for 3 more outs. I'm not sure I've seen a more impressive freshman pitcher ever than what Kevin Abel just showed us and what he has shown us here at the College World Series. That was poise and perfection.
And for Abel, that's now 12 innings in the College World Series, 13 strikeouts, and he's looked in total control the entire time. Kid may lead the country in strikeouts next year as a sophomore. I mean, it is real stuff.
Arkansas the last 2 nights have struck out 27 times. They've been out hit. They're 3 outs away, though, from winning the World Series. So we'll start with Zach Taylor. Matt Cronin came on in the last inning.
And this guy on the mound has been really impressive, too.
Yes,
yesterday, what he did, and so far what he's done in that top of the 8th inning. Let's see if he can continue it here.
Breaking ball, we've seen a steady diet of fastballs from Cronin.
That one surprises me. That's the first off-speed pitch that Cronin has thrown, and Zach Taylor doesn't have a whole lot of power, just 2 home runs over the course of the season. The one thing with Cronin is he throws a ton of strikes with that fastball. You're probably not that worried if you do fall behind 1-0 if you're Wes Johnson. Now 2-0.
Andy Armstrong has stepped into the on-deck circle for Oregon State. They got the leadoff man on last inning, Rutschman. He made it all the way to third base and was stranded there. Cronin in a big at bat got Quan to fly out to left. That's in there for a strike. 2-1. Our Razorback fans holding their breath, can't bear to watch. Yep, can't bear to watch.
This is what this is about.
That ball is pulled down the line. It's going to go foul. A few people held their breath when they saw that one leave the bat of Zach Taylor. How about that?
He's one of them.
And I imagine the folks at Baum Stadium, same thing. Time to elevate.
Fastball up right here.
There they are.
Two home runs on the season for Taylor. 2-2 pitch from Cronin. Nope. Sailed it at 94.
He elevated.
That's why Armstrong is on deck. He too has got 2 home runs. $25,580 on hand at TD Ameritrade to watch this one. Another one hit well, foul. If you're Arkansas, does that worry you?
A little. Yeah, because one he just took foul. That one obviously was way foul. 15 pitches from Matt Cronin last night, coming on back-to-back nights. But I think you absolutely stay with a fastball.
Zach Taylor singled, scored a run in the 5th inning. One of the 2 for Oregon State. Another good battle brewing here between Cronin and Taylor.
Now climb the ladder. Just a tad bit higher.
Zach Taylor, the junior, 6'2", 205-pounder out of Sherwood, Oregon. Nope, he walked him. Great at bat by Zach Taylor. And the leadoff man is aboard.
That's huge right there in this situation here. This situation, you know, they did it in the top half of the 8th inning. They will bunt to make sure that they get Madrigal and Caden Grenier with a runner in scoring position. That's the game that they have played all season long. Talk about sacrifice bunting. This team has done it a lot.
Andy Armstrong mentioned the 2 home runs. Pat Casey's going to send a pinch runner to first base, get Taylor out of the game. Armstrong has been used to sacrifice successfully 12 times. 12 sacrifice hits for Andy Armstrong. So a good bunter at the plate. Now we're going to have a conversation here between Armstrong, Pat Casey. Zach Clayton has gone on as a pinch runner.
No secret here what he's talking to them about. 1, get the bunt down. 2, make sure when you're the runner at first that the ball is down. Don't try to take that extra step. Trust the process. They've done it all season long. Come off the bench and you want to do a little too much, the game can speed up on you.
I would say there's a lot of times I don't like the bunt. I do here because of who's coming next.
Yeah.
I mean, you give Madrigal and Grenier a chance with a guy standing at second base. I think you got to do it here. Take your chances on getting them in. Let's see what he does. Popped it straight up and straight back. Tough pitch. You just said it, Eddie. Wait sure that ball is down.
Ay, bendito. This is where it gets me to talk Spanish. And the reason being, rule number 1, you bunted strikes. You bunted a pitch down. Yes. Cronin throws up in the zone. That ball right there, you're asking for trouble. It's not a bunt base hit. Use your legs and soften that ball.
And that's why I'm staying there if I'm Matt Cronin. I'm staying at the upper part of the zone. I'm staying right there to see if you can get another one of those, because we talked about this fastball that really has carry to it. That makes it a little bit tougher to square up and bunt at a downward angle too.
Trying it again. Oh, what a job by Armstrong.
That's well done.
He sure was. He got the job done, kept it fair, advanced the runner to second. Andy Armstrong does his job. And that's a lot of high fives.
That wasn't an easy pitch to bunt either. You said it. Stay up. He did stay up, and that ball was up and in. Watch this right here. Keeps that bat head up the entire time, the angle.
I mean, put yourself in Armstrong's shoes right now. That's mid-90s, about 2 inches from your eyes when the bat is all the way out there. That's not the most comfortable position to be in, but he did his job.
Well, you talk about somebody that's due. Nick Madrigal is 0 for 7 in the College World Series Finals. 0 for 7 with a walk. He's hit almost 400 this season. The number 4 overall pick in the draft this year. And he fouls one off.
So far in this College World Series final, 5 fly balls to the center field.
That last fastball, 90 miles an hour from Matt Cronin.
It's down a little
Yesterday we saw 93 to 95 pretty consistently. Again, going on back-to-back days through 15 pitches yesterday. This next pitch will be his 26th today.
Every year it feels like you get to this point, the closers for these teams trying to win it are on fumes.
And 3 there.
This is where Madrigal's really good, going to the right side of the field, hitting ground balls that way, not only moving the runner but driving him in.
We've seen Kjerstad, his arm in left field. Last night we saw it. It was terrific. Fletcher's one of the best center fielders in the country. And Cole, a terrific athlete out there in right field as Clayton takes a lead at second base. Good pitch. And a good pitch to hit.
What a matchup. I mean, you've got one of the best closers in the entire country in Matt Cronin going on back-to-back days. You get the 4th pick of the draft standing at home plate with a single that ties it up for Oregon State. Like, these are the moments you live for. When you're on the mound, when you're at home plate, this is why you play.
Two outs away from their first College World Series title. Madrigal 0 for 7 in the finals. One, two. Nope. 2-2.
Good breaking ball here?
No.
I'd think about it, man.
He's only thrown one.
I know he's only thrown one.
28 pitches.
I get it.
One, and you want to throw one here now? I don't think so.
It's a good breaking ball now. I know that the fastball plays up, but the reality is the velocity on the fastball is a little bit different tonight. The dude standing at home plate is really good.
There's Blaine Knight. Got the victory last night. Perfect season would only be perfect if they can win the College World Series. He's 14-0. Madrigal through his routine. Here's your 2-2. Think about the number of times that Nick Madrigal has swung a baseball bat. Thought about a situation like this. Same with Cronin on the mound. Jam shot, first base. 2 down, runner to third.
What a spot. What a spot with the fastball. Madrigal, the pitch before, got to one that Matt Cronin wanted to get him on. It was that elevated fastball out of way where you see a lot of guys swing through it. And this one just tied up one of the best hitters in the entire country. That is 92-93 in on the hands. And Matt Cronin is 1 out away from giving Arkansas their first ever national title.
The junior from Henderson at 5'11". Caden Grenier's got 2 hits. His last 2 times up, both singles. One was a ringing shot against a fastball from Barrett Losky. They are 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Strike 1. 7 times Dave Van Horn has been here, a couple of times with Nebraska. He has yet to leave a World Series champion. Zach Clayton is 90 feet away from tying this game up. Popped up. Maybe playable. Shaddy's over there. So's Gates. Tough play. Nobody gets it. Wow. An extra life for Caden Grenier. 3 guys had a chance at it. Cole, Shaddy, and Gates.
Watch Carson Shaddy. He's coming in hard. He wants it. Overruns it, wants it way too much. As soon as he bumps into Gates, he had no chance at it. Talk about nerves.
Oregon State given another lifeline. There's the tying run and the 1-2.
You got Trevor Larnach on deck. Been a difference maker this entire College World Series offensively for Oregon State.
Outfielders playing fairly shallow, especially in right. Cole. 2-2. Not a play.
Good pitch, good work. Again, Grenier just fouled off the one that Cronin wants to get you out on.
Matt Cronin has pitched in both ends of a doubleheader. This is the first time he's gone back-to-back days, and this will be his 36th pitch. Hit and through, and we are tied. Caden Grenier delivers. Oregon State is alive and well. And the pop-up that Arkansas couldn't catch leads us to this. What a performance by Caden Grenier. 3rd hit of the night.
Count 36 pitches so far tonight. 35 of them have been heaters. You live and die with your pitch, and that's been his pitch so far. You give another life to a player that got picked 37th overall, and Grenier ends up with a big hit.
3rd hit of the night for Grenier. 3rd hit of the night for Grenier. Fouled off a couple tough ones. The ball down the right field line. It looked like it was going to end the ball game. When it didn't, the junior comes up with a big hit and ties this one up for Oregon State.
They were down to their last strike, and Grenier delivers. He's the only guy tonight. Both Oregon State hits with runners in scoring position. And Grenier, be careful. He's got great speed at first.
If you're Arkansas, you got to have somebody up right now. And I'm not saying to get out of this one quite yet, but the reality is, Rav, you said it just a minute ago, Cronin's never gone back-to-back days this year. That pitch count's getting up.
Yeah.
This stuff is a little bit different than it was before.
And don't forget, Oregon State now has Kevin Abel on the mound. Here's Larnach, 1-0. 2-0. You got to believe there's a deflated feeling for Arkansas, especially Cronin, who thought he had the World Series won on that fly ball into foul territory that Arkansas could not come up with.
You're thinking why Cole wasn't under that ball. He was playing deep in right field, playing off the line when Grenier was hitting.
Larnach's 18 homers leads the team. Gets one to hit, drives it to right. This one is deep. This one is gone. Trevor Larnach's 19th, and Oregon State roars to the top here in the 9th. They now lead it 5-3. What a comeback. They were down to their last strike. And Larnach lights up the Beavers dugout.
Fastball misses location. Cronin definitely fatigued. We see it in velocity. Now we're seeing it in location. And what a swing. The first rounder again coming through big time. Clears his hands. Oh, my.
The lineup just doesn't stop. The lineup does not stop. And for Larnach right there, it's a fastball inner half. Before that pitch, Matt Cronin had given up 2 home runs this entire season. The 3rd home run has given Oregon State the lead here in the 9th.
Think about the guys that you expect to come through for Oregon State. Larnach, home run. Rutschman, home run. Arkansas's bullpen is in trouble tomorrow night, given how many pitches Cronin has thrown here. They did get Lowski out with 22, so he'll be available, but down by 2 with 2 down. Cronin throws to Adley Rutschman. What a seesaw back and forth game we had here in game 2 of this best-of-3 College World Series.
Action now as Cody Scroggins up and throwing in the Arkansas bullpen.
Rutschman pops it up. Shaddy will get another chance, and this time he'll make the play. Holy cow, the Beavers bounce back. Caden Grenier, after giving a lifeline on a pop-up that wasn't caught, he delivers his 3rd hit of the night. And then Trevor Larnach blasts one off. Good look at it, his 19th. And the Beavers are back in business. We're on the verge of a game 3 if Abel can close the door here in the bottom half. What an exciting game here. TD Ameritrade. How about 3 big runs for Oregon State? They come off the closer, Matt Cronin. They now have a lead 5-3. And Arkansas was 1 strike away from winning this. They were 1 pop-out away from claiming their first College World Series title.
Guys, watch Eric Cole in right field. He's playing deep, but he's coming in hot. Shaddy right here calls for it early, and Eric Cole now looks down, and he just gives up on it. He looks at Shaddy the entire time right there, peeks up. And even though Shaddy calls for it, the outfielder has the right and the say right there to call everyone off. You gotta want the ball. You have to want the ball in that circumstance. And that life, that extra life, when you give it to elite players.
Well, now it's on the shoulders of the freshman Kevin Abel, who came in the 8th inning and immediately struck out the 3 men he faced. He will face Jax Biggers and then go to the top of the order. Michael Gretler is at first base. Andy Armstrong goes to 3rd base. Zach Clayton is out in center field, and Joe Casey moves from center field to left field. Clayton's in left field. Check that. So let's see what Abel has after Oregon State plated 3 in the 9th. There's Casey in center. Strike 1. Filthy changeup at 81. 1-2. The Oregon State Beaver fans are recognizing how close they are to forcing a game 3. .6:30 Eastern time on ESPN2 if it happens. Abel on the mound is in line for his 3rd win at the College World Series. He's a freshman. This one has popped out of play. Boy, does that ball move a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, even the fastball has cut tonight. I didn't see that earlier. Tonight, the fastball's got a little bit of cut. There's not a lot of guys that throw a cutter and a true changeup. Like the arm action at release is so different on those 2 pitches. Abel's shown the ability to do that with a real curveball behind it.
3-2. Up the middle. How about Arkansas? Leadoff man is aboard. And Kevin Abel finally gives up a hit. And that's the number 9 hitter, Diggers. His first hit of the night, so the lineup gets turned over, and here comes Eric Cole.
Well, just as we talked about for Oregon State, when you turn the lineup over, that's where the fire comes. There's no different for Arkansas. I mean, now you start lining up guys that can put it in the seats and tie this thing up with one swing. Eric Cole's one of them.
So they warmed Jake Mulholland up, who I thought was going to be in line to maybe start tomorrow night. But again, it may not be a tomorrow night. So you get a win here. Abel, 23 pitches for the freshman. He'll face Cole. Casey Martin will have a chance. And barring a double play, Heston Kjerstad. So top of the order in the bottom of the 9th. And they're going to make a change right now. Kevin Abel is going to come out of the game. And they're going to go to the lefty, Jake Mulholland, who will be making his 31st appearance of the season. We're exhausting every weapon we have, which makes all the sense in the world given what's on the line here. But Abel done, and they obviously saw something they didn't like, or perhaps like they took Lowski out with 22 pitches, you get him out with 23.
The one thing I think is interesting is you bring Abel into the ballgame in the 8th inning, you don't bring your closer in, okay? And now when you get to another high leverage situation, now you go back to your closer. I think part of the feeling for Pat Casey is there's a comfort level with each. But Mulholland's been the closer all year. 15 saves for Mulholland, now comes in with a chance. If he gets a 16th save, we'll play for a national title tomorrow.
Right.
You talked about earlier being top of the lineup. It's going to be a tough road also. You got Cole, Martin, Kjerstad coming up. You definitely need your closer with a high leverage situation here.
And the other thing that Arkansas really does from a lineup standpoint is you can't go right, left. Like you can't match up with them. Right. Cole's a switch hitter. Then Martin from the right side. Kjerstad from the left side. Bonfield from the right side. Fletcher from the left side. Like the way that Dave Van Hort sets his lineup, it's not an easy matchup for somebody that's a specialist coming out of the bullpen. Mulholland isn't necessarily a specialist. He has the ability to get righties and lefties out, and he's going to have to get 3 out here.
Let's recap the top of the 9th. It was a crazy one. It started with Grenier. Popped it up. This gets caught. Arkansas wins the World Series. The Fayetteville Triangle, if you will. And then Grenier, who was given an extra life, delivers the tying run. And then Trevor Larnach blasted off. What we didn't see there was after the leadoff man got on, Andy Armstrong came on as a pinch hitter. And he sacrificed the runner to second base. That was as big a play as you could have because it allowed Grenier to deliver that RBI single. Then Larnach hit the home run. But the Andy Armstrong bunt in a game like this will get lost.
On a tough pitch, too. So now Jake Mulholland, the closer on. All Pac-12 honorable mention this year, but he is the closer for Oregon State, and they're comfortable with him in the ball game. 44 innings, 41 strikeouts for Mulholland this year.
Guys, worth pointing out here, too, though, that Mulholland had struggled here in his last time out against Mississippi State, loading the bases in the later part of that game. Pat Casey said he saw a little bit of doubt creep into Mulholland's head, something that he said he hadn't seen from Mulholland. Had a conversation with him after that game. They felt good about it, but certainly something to keep in mind here.
To Laura's point, I think that's why we saw Abel in the 8th. Is some level of doubt with Mulholland coming in that situation. Now you're bringing him in maybe a tighter situation.
First couple of pitches will be key to see how he does. First, Eric Cole. Again, to piggyback off of the Super Regionals, which saw 5 game 3s. We appear to be headed that way. The 3 lead changes tonight tied for the most in any game at TD Ameritrade Park. This is how the World Series should go. First pitch breaking ball. The 0-1 fastball misses 1-1. There is nobody warming in the Arkansas bullpen. I can't imagine that Cronin would come back out if they were to tie it.
No, I have to think if you tie this ball game, you're going to see some kids sprinting down to that Arkansas bullpen real quick.
Good pitch. 1 and 2.
Because part of it is you don't want to heat anybody up.
Right.
If you're not going to play extra innings, because you may need everybody tomorrow if you're Arkansas. Isaiah Campbell, the assumed starter in game 3 for Arkansas if we play it. I don't know who that is for Oregon State.
There's Cronin. Cole. Good pitch, and he's gone. 1 down here in the bottom of the 9th.
Looks like a changeup.
Yep.
Changeup that cut a little bit, Eddie, too. You can see Adley Rutschman sitting middle of the plate. This one ends up cutting just a little bit, but it froze there at Cole.
That changeup is on, and when Larnach hit that home run, there wasn't anybody warming up in the pen also. So maybe he was not ready and in time to come into the game for that leadoff hitter.
Casey Martin. Left field, foul ball. All 3 of these guys, Cole, who's now retired, 14 homers. Martin up 13 homers. Kerstead on deck, 14. Double-digit homer in Fletcher with 10. Bonfield needs 1 to get to 10. Whoa, what a play by Mulholland, who goes to Madrigal to first. He's out. Double play. What a turn on a shot back at Mulholland. And we will have a game 3 for the championship Thursday night.
That's a big league double play right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is.
From the catch to the feed
to the arm. Yes.
Wow.
Arkansas and their fans shocked. Clutch baseball from Oregon State. And they are feeling really good about themselves right now. Mulholland fields it. He fires to Madrigal, and there was no doubt about it. Even though Martin, with all his speed, dove headfirst into first.
If it's on the bare hand side, there's no way he gloves it. It goes straight to the glove side. Mulholland drops the glove, strike to Madrigal, strong throw to first, and we play on.
And he was out, no doubt about it. There's Quan and his hamstrings. Easy, big fella. Oh, easy. That may have hurt a little bit.
Yeah, did you see him pull up after?
Yeah. It did. Let's take it easy, but you understand the enthusiasm. Trevor Larnach will give you the player of the game, but tonight it could go to any number of Oregon State Beavers. They were absolutely clutch. The Capital One player of the game is number 11, who blasted his 19th home run. I think he had the baseball in his hand. And tonight felt like the greatest show on dirt. Let's set it down to Laura.